What's up, San Diego? Happy Groundhog's Day to everybody out there in America's finest city. Groundhog Day. It's a beautiful Groundhog Day. I don't know what Puxatawny Phil was talking about because it doesn't seem like 6 weeks of winter out here. It doesn't. That must be for the rest of the country. I don't want to curse us because I know February is usually a lot cloudy. I know March usually has a lot of rain. But I'm going to tell you right now, Puxatawny Phil, you better watch out, big dog. Nobody wants to sit through another 6 weeks of winter. Guy saw his shadow.
Speak for yourself.
You know what? You can move out there if you want. You can go, shovel snow.
I did.
You could go.
I
could go back and go do that stuff. That doesn't sound like fun to me. I find it to be very depressing.
No, the fun is playing in the big pile that you create. That's
I lived in an area that had snow, but then it would ice over the first night, and so then you wouldn't get a pile of fresh snow. It would just be ice everywhere, which is not fun. I bet you a lot of people, Frank, disagree with your comments if they were sitting in the snow and watching the Farmers Insurance Open over the weekend.
I'm sure they do.
Let me tell you, what a great tournament that was for Justin Rose and Justin Rose only.
Yeah.
Guy sets a record on the course. He goes a course record over the weekend. Phenomenal.
It's called pillar to post.
Our highs this week, by the way, Puxatawny. 72, 77, 85 on Wednesday, 74, 70, 69, 73.
I can already tell you somebody in this room is going to be in a bad mood on Wednesday.
Don't you have a race to watch on Wednesday?
I might.
Don't they have a bunch of left turns you're going to watch on Wednesday?
No, because it's supposed to snow. It's supposed to snow on Wednesday. They'd have been better off trying to race it today.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Yeah, Puxatawny Phil, for anybody that doesn't know what's going on, he's the name of the groundhog that comes out of his little burrow or whatever and walks around and sees it, like looks to see if he sees his shadow. And homeboy saw his shadow for the second straight year. 6 more weeks of winter to all that abide by that. That's all you got. Are we going to do this every day for the remainder of time like Bill Murray? No, we're not. Not part of that. We're excited to be here today. Wilbur, Phil, Puxatawny, our guy. How about that? We're excited to talk a lot of Padres baseball today. We're going to dive into college hoops over the weekend. We got a lot of news in baseball as well. And kind of just start the show off with everything that happened over the weekend. And we had a great time at Fan Fest. Frank and I had a great time at Fan Fest. I thought it was amazing to be able to talk to guys like Mason Miller and to talk to guys like Joe Musgrove. I mean, we went back to back on those interviews. Two great young individuals that are out there representing the city of San Diego and representing the Padres. They do it in such a great way. I thought those interviews went really well on Saturday. I thought it was a great time. I want to thank everybody that came out and supported us on Saturday. I want to thank everybody that came out to Fan Fest and got a little taste of Padres baseball over the weekend. It was great. It was great to see those many fans. The sun was shining. It was a beautiful day in America's finest city. Felt like we were days away from opening day, not necessarily spring training coming up, which, by the way, pitchers and catchers report in how many days?
That would be 8 days, 3 hours, 5 minutes, and 30, 29, 28 seconds.
A week from tomorrow. We're going to have pitchers and catchers. We're going to have the best video of the year to start the year. You know what video I'm talking about? The Nat Sound video from the Padres account where guys are throwing. Leather. That pop of the glove. It's the best. It's just absolutely the best. Getting some bullpens in. Hear the loud thud in the bullpens. But it was great for Fan Fest on Saturday. I mean, absolutely great for Fan Fest on Saturday. It was a great time. It was great to be with Mason Miller. It was great to be with Joe Musgrove. We had a great time. I thought the events over there were super fun. They do a lot of Q&A, and we're going to play a lot of the sound from over the weekend that we were able to acquire, and there was so much content from Saturday. I mean, it was getting me excited for Padres baseball. It's getting me excited for baseball to come back. I mean, you can talk about what you want with AJ Preller still thinks he's looking for a couple of bats, and he's going to be working on the roster up until opening day up until, at least through spring training. And say what you want about maybe the other teams in the National League that you're going to have to deal with, but you get that first sense of baseball being back. It's that optimistic feeling. It's that new spring, what is that? What is that phrase? Spring brings new life, brings eternal, whatever the spring thing. You know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about when it comes to getting excited for the season. So we're going to talk a lot about what happened at Fan Fest. We got a lot of sound for you to play and hear from some of the players that were at Fan Fest. We'll hear from Fernando Tatis Jr. We'll hear from Jackson Merrill. We'll hear from AJ Preller. We had Joe Musgrove and Mason Miller on, but then they had, other comments, made at the media scrums, which we will play for you. We're going to dive into Aztec basketball later on over the course of the show. It's going to be mostly Padres baseball today. Aztecs, tough loss in Logan. They had a big lead a couple of times against Utah State, end up not getting the victory, losing at Utah State. We thought that was going to be a tough game, probably factored in as a loss going into the season, having to play at Logan. It's a quad one game. So they lose that game, now drop out of the NCAA tournament field, which I think is a little ridiculous considering Utah State lost a quad 3 game at home, not in triple overtime like the Aztecs did. They lost soundly in a quad 3 game at home, and they went down to Grand Canyon, got their ass handed to them. San Diego State lost on a buzzer beater, if you will, or a phantom foul. So I don't know how the resumes stack up. We'll take a deeper dive into that. I still think the Aztecs are in a good spot, but they're going to have to win one of the next 2 quad 1 games, which is going to be at home against Utah State or on the road against New Mexico. That's going to be very important for Aztecs basketball. UCSD over the weekend got a win. Of course, they are still trying to put together a little bit of momentum going into the Big West tournament. They're going to be a Big West tournament. They got to win that and be in. That's a 1-bid league in the Big West. As for the West Coast Conference, San Diego, that is a not great. That's a tough way to lose on Saturday. USD had a lead on Oregon State, had a 10-point lead with about 90 seconds to go. Cough up the lead and end up losing in overtime by 3 points to Oregon State, a game that they really needed to win for seeding purposes in the WCC tournament. Just a very tough loss to swallow if you're USD over the weekend. And then the other thing, too, that happened over the weekend, we talked about the college basketball. We talked about, Justin Rose sets a course record to win the Farmers Insurance Open. We talked about Fan Fest, but former friend and a familiar face, Luis Arráez, finally found a place to play. And unfortunately for a lot of Padres fans, I think, he's playing in the division. He signs a 1-year, $12 million deal to play with the Giants to be their second baseman. I like Luis Arráez. I think he's a great guy. I think he's a great clubhouse guy. I love his energy. I love his fieriness, right? It's great to have a high contact player. But for $12 million and for him to play second base, I can't believe the Giants gave him that kind of money. I really don't. And you could see the Giants fans on social media were like the infighting of, this is the guy we need to get on base for our big guys. It's like, I don't know, man. He doesn't have a high on base percentage. It's not much more than his batting average. He doesn't walk a lot. And to me, every time I watched Luis Arráez play, it looked like he was trying to do whatever it takes to not strike out more than just go up there and swing the bat. It almost was like the sense of I don't strike out superseded the I need to get a hit a lot of times for Luis Arráez. And so you saw some Giants fans all on board. And then you saw other Giants fans that were like, when Harrison Bader signed with the Giants, the Phillies fans were upset. I'm looking around. I'm not seeing a lot of upset Padres fans. I think there's something to be said about that. I would have loved to have Luis Arráez back on the Padres for a very small price. And if he was basically the 9-hitter, there wasn't really a place for him. It didn't make sense to bring back Luis Arráez, especially not for the price of $12 million, and especially not when you have Jake Cronenworth and other players that could play second base better than Luis Arráez. He doesn't fit on this team. He just didn't. You can have Luis Arráez play first base and be a DH because I think that naturally suits him a little bit more. I don't think he's got the range anymore to play second base. He wasn't that great of a defender at second base. He did okay. I thought he did pretty solid at first near the end of the season in the playoffs. But you can't afford to have a guy like Luis Arráez play first base if you don't have guys in your lineup that are slugging at a high mark and hitting a lot of home runs. First base, DH, they're designed for guys that can put the ball over the fence, not for a contact guy that only hits singles and doesn't walk. He didn't fit with the team. So it's unfortunate he's got to wear a rival jersey. It's unfortunate that he's no longer with the Padres. But at the same time, for the price that the Giants paid and for guaranteeing him to play second base, that's a no deal for me from the get-go if I'm the San Diego Padres. Good for Luis. He found a place that valued him, that gave him $12 million and let him play second base again, his natural position, at least according to him. He doesn't fit on the Padres. The only way you could afford to have Luis Arráez on your team if you're the Padres for him to play first or be the DH is if you have a massive power hitter in a different position, which you currently don't, and if you weren't spending a lot of money on other players right now. It just wasn't a fit. And so we'll see what happens in San Francisco. I mean, he get over 300 again. But the problem was, since his days in Miami, his numbers have started to decline to the point where he's not worth the value anymore. He was worth it when he was sitting 340. And you would tolerate the low on base, you would tolerate the lack of base running, you would tolerate the fielding because he was hitting at such an elite level. The guy was always getting a knock. Once that number starts to decline, he's not worth the value anymore. And we'll see if the Giants fans and the Giants see that this year. Maybe he won't. A tough defensive infield right there in San Francisco. Rafael Devers and Luis Arráez on one side of the ball. We'll see how that plays out. When we come back, we'll kind of recap some more of the Fan Fest. We got a lot of sound to play, a lot of good things said by the players at Fan Fest. We're going to give you a recap of what happened on Saturday, talk a lot of Padres baseball. We're off and running on a Monday. Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego Summer Sports Station 97 through the Fan. Broadcasting live from the Bill House Studios, we know how. Alongside Frank Marchese, I'm Braden Surprenant. We are the Braden Surprenant Show, live and local each every day from 10 to 2 on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. We appreciate you guys joining us today. If you haven't done so already, join us on YouTube at B_SURP, youtube.com/@B_SURP. You can find all of our videos on there. We have our interviews on there from Fan Fest. You could also check out 97 through the Fan YouTube account as well. On the YouTube account, on the Fan, we have every single press conference from Fan Fest on there. And it is good stuff. I mean, there is a lot of stuff. We're going to get to as much of this as we possibly can today on the radio. But if you want more, go to 97 through the Fan on YouTube. That is where you're going to get so much extra content that we don't have time to play on our radio station. Again, if you go back and you're driving around, you like the segments we have during our commercial breaks, when we go to commercial on the radio, we have live programming on our YouTube feed of extra segments that we put in weekly on UCSD, on San Diego State, on USD, on the goals, on all of the other sports that are going on in town that we don't have time to talk about during their show because we're so jam-packed with everything else going on. We got NFL updates, NHL updates, NBA updates, all sorts of stuff, lifestyle stuff. We keep it entertaining on the YouTube feed as well. So when you listen to us on the radio, you could go back and rewatch our show on YouTube and you'll have just extra stuff. You could also go back and listen to it wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to subscribe to us or wherever you get your podcasts, and you'll never miss when we post new stuff. We posted a bunch of new stuff over the weekend. We're going to continue to do that. You can follow us on social media at B_SURP, at BSURP. You can follow us on our show account, the Braden Surprenant Show, at B_SURP, and then add show to it. Just show. BSURP Show. Be sure to follow Frank as well on social media, FMarks324. But we got tons of extra content for you. Always trying to produce more content. Always live, always local. Pushing as much San Diego content to you guys as possible on all of our social media platforms. So give us a follow. Like this video. We really appreciate it. By the way, if you like today's YouTube video on the screen, guess what happens today? You get a basketball. A basketball pops up.
Oh, I have a feeling I know what's triggering that now.
Yeah, it's what you put in the title.
Yeah.
We had a football the other day. We had a baseball the other day. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you get a basketball. So today, if you hit the like button, something great happens. A basketball starts dribbling. It's great. It's fun.
And if you're me, you get a McDonald's application because I spelled college wrong.
You did. You spelled collage.
Yep, I did.
You can fix that.
No, we found that out the other day. No,
I fixed the one the other day. I went back. Remember the one where you had the AI?
Oh yeah, no.
I went back and fixed it on YouTube.
Oh no, I know I could. No, I know I could do that after. I know I could do it after.
So anyway, again, you can follow all the social media platforms down below. We were working on how you guys can get T-shirts again. Reordering T-shirts, Frank. Mm-hmm. I got that set up. That should be coming closer to opening day and closer to March. March. Dun, 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 dun. Every time I say March. Ah, there it is. Back, baby. It's coming back. And they're coming here. NCAA tournament's so much fun. It's even more fun when you got teams in it. And right now, I'm about to blow a gasket on TCU basketball, but that's for a different day. You know what? Maybe I got to start adding TCU updates on my own YouTube, and I'll do my own podcast, and I won't air it on this. I'll just have it there so I can rant about TCU athletics.
Hey, that's
I can pump it. You know what? You know what that is? It's more content, and I'm just gonna. I'll have. It's just like you're gonna have two different fan bases now watching this show.
I'm gonna have to change the font on the regular college sports update now.
You changed it to the TCU font. It's great.
Yeah, I know I did, but if you're going to do a TCU rant segment, I'm going to have to change that. We're not going to
re-air that on YouTube. That's just going to be my own. Here's the playlist just for TCU athletics where Braden can just let it all out. If you want to listen to his therapy session, go for it. I'm going to push that out to the Texas people instead. What a S show yesterday in Boulder, Colorado. It was you know what it was this weekend? A really rough weekend to watch college basketball for my teams. The only team that won was Tennessee, and that was it. Oh, and Arizona continues to be undefeated. They look almost unbeatable.
Can't have everything.
I know. Well, and of course, we finally, here's what we did. As a family, we booked a trip to go to Boston for the Padres Red Sox series.
Mm-hmm.
Never. I've been to Boston one time. I love Boston. It's great. And my mom goes, because she's been burned by Arizona basketball enough where she's like, I don't know. I don't know if I can. They're just going to disappoint me in the end. I'm like, Mom, they are destroying people.
Yeah, they're
not even close. The only team that came close was BYU, and it was official aided in the final 3 minutes of the game at the Marriott Center. But she was like, well, when's the Final Four? I'm like, it's the same weekend we are going to Boston. By the way, I would much rather go to Boston than Indianapolis. I've been to both cities.
Yeah,
I don't want to. You know what? I know the bit on the show is me just crushing the state of Indiana for no reason. That upset somebody the other day. That upset somebody last year when I said there's nothing, but it's just flat. It's nothing. There's nothing in Indiana.
There's only
except for the sports teams in Indianapolis.
Right, there's only, was it the end of May? That's the only time you ever need to go to Indianapolis.
Right.
Indy 500.
Yeah, there you go drink some milk, dude.
The Weenie 500.
What about the Brickyard 500?
That's August. So there's 2 times to go to Indianapolis.
I've been in Indianapolis, dude. There's no reason for me to stay there longer than the period of time that I was actually there for, which is very small. But anyway, they're hosting the Final Four. Arizona, I mean, they're going to come here. And I'm going to tell you right now, we already know that Wilbur, who's a San Diego resident, is going to be there. But when Arizona comes to San Diego for the first 2 rounds of the NCAA tournament, that arena is going to be packed.
Oh, yeah.
With Arizona fans.
It'll be a home game.
It is going to be McHale West is what it's going to be. And I know these guys, they're going to be fired up to watch them. And I think we're hosting the Friday, Sunday for the NCAA tournament. So that will be fun to watch. Let's get to what happened over the weekend at Fan Fest. Now, we're going to have some time now to do it, and we're going to have some time after. But again, if you want extra content on AJ Preller and Fernando Tatis Jr. and Jackson Merrill and the whole 9 yards, YouTube page, 97 Through the Fan. Go to our YouTube page. It's all posted there. Adam and Sam and everybody at they busted their ass over the weekend to put all those videos out for you. Go check it out. It's great Padres content. In fact, it's probably going to take you the next 8 days to get the pitchers and catchers to watch all the stuff anyway. There's so much stuff on there. Let's get to a couple of these things, and then we're going to take a break and get back to some more. This is going to be about AJ Preller. Now, the big question, of course, with AJ Preller is going to be, where are you going to add, AJ? Like, there's still some spots that need to be filled on this team. Is it starting pitching? Probably a need. They need a bat or 2, right? I mean, what are we going to do with Gavin Sheets? But the first question asked to AJ Preller was, where are you looking to add before spring training or opening day, whatever it may be? What's the next move for you?
Yeah, I think they understand like the rotation. You know, I think obviously bringing Michael back was huge. You know, I think that was an important part of it, and I think getting Joe back will be obviously big on and off the field. But continuing to add to the starting pitching side of things, I think we understand the bat. I think probably multiple bats, and I think exactly like that first base DH, kind of rounding out the bench. Those are some areas that we're going to look to address here in the next few weeks.
You've done a lot of work in the past years at this time, leading into spring training and in spring training. How comfortable are you with that process of kind of this 11th hour?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the bigger changes, I think, in baseball over the last 10 years or so. It used to be like you get to the winter meetings and, now it's kind of turned the page towards next season, and the transaction part of it, got done kind of between GM meetings and, right around the, middle of December. Now it feels like all of us, you guys are working right up until, or at times we've been obviously into Peoria and, Pavetta, Machado, Dylan Cease into spring training. So I don't think it really ever, it doesn't really ever end. There's no deadline on, on transactions, and you kind of get to this point, and obviously, you get the opportunity to hopefully get some players that are motivated, that want to be here, get some deals that we feel like are, line up for us from a price standpoint and how we're valuing the player. So kind of working right up until spring training, and, hopefully we're going to look to add some guys here in the next couple of weeks that help us a lot.
Looking to add some guys in the next couple of weeks to help the team out. I love Danny's question there. How comfortable have you gotten at doing the 11th hour thing? Have you seen AJ Preller? Come on. AJ Preller is the king of working in the final hour. I want to know what AJ Preller was like in college. He was just like he was cooking the closer it got to a deadline. Had to have been. Nobody makes better moves closer to deadlines than this guy. This is the guy that does it. AJ Preller makes magic happen in like the 11th hour. I honestly, I feel like AJ Preller lets everybody kind of do their thing so he can just cram at the last minute and just outperform everybody. You've seen it time and time again. That's when AJ Preller likes to work. You know what? He likes a midnight snack. Guy likes to cook late. Let the man cook in the middle of the night. He's got to do it. He's got to put together a team that's going to have. I'm telling you, this happens every year. This is why you continue to say you can't judge the team until it's complete. You can get a somewhat judgment of it when you get into opening day, but you still know that's not the team that they're showing up to a playoff series in October with. You will not see the official and final roster of this Padres team until August 3rd. Why August 3rd, Frank?
That's the trade deadline.
That's the trade deadline. Somebody asked, why is the trade deadline on August 3rd? Why do they pick these random days? You want to know why, Frank? It's because Rob Manfred saw his shadow. Deadline's an extra 3 days later. It's great. I would like to credit Matt Perez for that joke. I was dying when he said it. He said that when it came out. It was like Rob Manfred saw his shadow. Why's the trade deadline August 3rd? Oh, Rob Manfred saw his shadow. It was Rob Manfred Day on the Groundhog Day for baseball. It's funny.
Just leave the bad
was
jokes
great.
to me.
Oh, come on, it was great.
Leave those to me.
I gave Drake a foul when he was my color analyst for women's basketball for making a 6'7" joke. I mean, I'm telling you right now, that's joke of the week so far by Matty P right there. I saw the text.
Only 30
Somebody's
minutes
like,
into the week.
Why in the world is August 3rd the trade deadline? Immediate response. Rob Manfred saw his shadow. Bang. Works out today, Groundhog Day. Drake May. All right. We have time for one more clip probably of AJ Preller. So let's talk about Gavin Sheets for a second. Like, where's Gavin Sheets going to be on this team? Is he competing for the first base spot? Is he going to be the DH? I think this actually impacts his last answer of what they're looking for. Here's what AJ Preller said about Gavin Sheets and what his role might be going into the season.
Yeah, I mean, Gavin was he was big for us last year, and he's going to get a crack to get at bats. I think it's going to be, again, it's competition. But in terms of like Gavin taking at bats, he's had a great off season. I think for him, we've kind of talked to him about, hey, here's where you've at. You put yourself kind of back on the map and real part of what we've done. But there's steps to be had to see can you make some more improvements. But he'll get that opportunity here, spring training into the season, to take on some of those at bats. And then we'll probably look to add and add somebody that either complements Gavin, competes with Gavin. But just again, like I think. I said it to Kevin AC yesterday or something that, we'll have somebody playing first base for us on opening day. So throws won't be going into the camera well, and you'll be dodging them or whoever's in there. So we'll be okay, I think.
I think they'll be okay, too. I think they're going to go get a complimentary piece to Gavin Sheets, and I think that could be a platoon position for the Padres because I think it's an area of need. Now, whether or not they're going to be able to get one of those pieces will remain to be seen. I think they're going to put I think that's going to be a free agent ad, Frank, more than it's going to be a trade deadline ad, a trade ad. And to me, that is, some of the players that we talked about earlier in this show a couple of weeks ago, Paul Goldschmidt to me continues to kind of fit because he's a guy that rakes lefties. And that was something you were looking for, is a guy that rakes lefties. And if he's not going to play every day and only play against lefties, I think that's a good combo at first base. You're not asking Paul Goldschmidt to be the everyday first baseman. You're asking him to potentially be a role player. And to me, I think that makes a lot of sense. But we have to take a break. We'll hear from what Frank has to say about that when we come back and get more AJ Preller sound. He had a couple of other clips that you got to listen to in anticipation of spring training. I'm telling you, the guy is working on something. And we'll hear about it when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show, Standing Number One Sports Station 97.3 The Fan. $10:39 on a Monday morning. A lot to unpack after the weekend that was, especially in Padres land. We were close. We were so close, Frank. So close to Padres baseball.
Yes,
we are 8 days away from pitchers and catchers reporting. 8 days and something hours, something minutes, something whatever.
8 days, 2 hours, 29 minutes, 43, 42, 41 seconds.
But who's counting, right?
Not us.
Not us. We're not counting. The fans' website is, though. Do you want to see the official countdown to when pitchers and catchers report to spring training? It's on our website, 97thefanst.com. All right, we're talking about what A.J. Preller was talking about over the weekend as part of his press conference, if you will, and the media scrum that he had. And he talked a little bit about what the next piece is. He talked about what Gavin Sheets and the plans are for Gavin Sheets going into this season, whether he's going to be the everyday first baseman, DH. It sounds like he's going to be a little bit of both. And then talking about that they're going to bring somebody in, maybe a couple of bats, to try to complement Gavin Sheets. I think that's the right path. We'll talk about that in just a second. But other news with A.J. Preller, they asked him about a couple of things that obviously are not really in his control. Now, some of it is, some of it's not. And it's the contract negotiations, it's the future sell of the team, it's labor negotiations, and it is also the latest update on Yu Darvish. Let's get to number one on this list. A.J. Preller. We kept hearing that he was going to get a new contract soon. They haven't put one in place yet, but it sounds like a lot of it's because A.J. Preller is busy trying to get the roster ready to go. Here's what A.J. said when asked about a potential future contract, where that is, and when he expects a new deal to be done for an extension to him to continue to be the general manager of the Padres.
I mean, honestly, I think part of the timing piece, I think a little bit is on me in terms of, you get into these off seasons. I know we haven't been super transactional. We did the Michael King move, and we added Song. But it's, like the focus on winning and putting a team together and free agents and trades. I'm not great at, kind of like focusing on anything other than that this time of year, so I think that's been part of it. And ultimately I think I've been very consistent. I think you guys know, pretty realistic when it comes to making deals and what it looks like. And I think the biggest thing is, just in terms of I think when win-win deals is when everybody's fair and they're honest and realistic, and I expect something to get done, continuing to talk. And, again, looking forward to continue to talk about the team and the, what we're trying to do to put a better team on the field. So that's been the focus.
I'm going to ask Frank this question because it's going to set up what I'm going to talk about. When you're giving out contract extensions to players, when is the best time to do that? When they are not, when they're not distracted. What time of year is it the best time for them to do that?
The off season.
It's the off season, right? Why?
Got more time to relax and chill out.
Right, because
more time to think.
In the middle of the season, what are they worried about? They're worried about playing. They're worried about, how do we beat this team? They're worried about their at-bats. They're worried about playing the game. They don't want to deal with the distractions. How many times have we heard that? Like, oh, my agent's trying to take care of this contract extension. I'm focused on playing. And if something aligns, it aligns. But they don't want the distraction while they're playing. A general manager, when is his time to shine?
It's during the offseason.
It's the offseason. This is when he's the most busy. There's a little bit of time at the very conclusion of the season where he might have a little downtime that he probably just wants to spend for himself. But the good general managers, they're working. There's not like an ideal time for general managers, president of baseball, and all that fun stuff to sign contract extensions because they are always busy. That is a job that is working 365 days a year to always better your ball club. But when is he really making his strides? It's right now. It's during the offseason. It's getting ready for the general manager meetings. It's getting ready for the winter meetings. Dealing with the Rule 5 draft. Dealing with free agency. Dealing with trades. Getting your roster ready for spring training. Evaluating your roster in spring training. Getting an opening day lineup out there. Evaluating that lineup for the first couple of weeks. I mean, to me, the only time that A.J. Preller will have a little bit of time where he gets in a routine and a little bit of downtime is at the beginning of the regular season. So, honestly, I'm not that surprised that A.J. Preller hasn't signed a contract extension. Look, they want to make sure this thing's right. They want to make sure it works for both sides. He's going to sign something that benefits him, and the Padres want to sign something that benefits them long term or benefits the next ownership, whatever it may be. It needs to be a two-way street to sign a contract. And if one entity is worried about getting the team ready to go, I can understand how they haven't really had time to sit down, talk, align on a contract extension for A.J. Preller. And you could tell by the way he was answering that question, he doesn't seem very worried about it. I don't think he's that worried about it. I think fans might be worried about it more than they probably need to, but he's not worried about it. I would imagine a deal gets done once the season kind of starts and they have gotten the team to a point and they're in a position where they're not really making too many moves. Right now, they are frantically trying, not frantically, but they are quickly trying to put a team together, dot all their I's, cross all their T's, mind their P's and Q's, and get a roster ready in 8 days, 4 pitchers and catchers to report, and then make sure their position players and everybody they want to see try out at camp or they're ready to go. That's the main focus of the Padres right now. That's why I'm not overly shocked that they haven't had a contract extension yet with A.J. Preller. I'm not shocked by that. I don't think this tells you anything. I don't think it tells you that they're not interested in doing this. I don't think this tells you that they're waiting for a new ownership group. I don't think this tells you, all of the different things that I think a lot of fans have been fixated on and have put together in like a doom and gloom situation. Because I just think naturally, when is the time a general manager is making all the moves? It's right now. It's not at the beginning part of the season. It's literally from the offseason to opening day. And once opening day happens, it's a little bit less of time that they have to focus on the roster because they have done everything they need to do. They pass it along to the manager. Sure, they're still working and trying to find adds, subtracts, all that stuff. They have to call up guys, monitor. But that first month or so of the season, you kind of got to let the roster play out the way you've assembled it. That's when I think this contract extension will probably be signed, Frank.
Yeah, it makes the most sense. I mean, he is right now, he is as busy as the players are during the regular season. So it would make sense that he's more focused. He's got his focus elsewhere. And I do agree that I do not see a genuine scenario where the Padres do not extend his contract. I think we're all just so focused on the fact that, we're so used to seeing these contracts, these extensions done during the offseason with players that we're not thinking about it from that side of the executives to where that's more of an in-season kind of move for an executive position.
Let's talk about the other noise, right? I mean, this is the other thing that people are talking about when it comes to A.J. Preller. Like, what about the impending sale and future labor uncertainty? Like, how has that impacted the way you have been able to operate, A.J.? Sorry, I didn't know if you had
that as well, or has it thrown any wrinkle in things?
Yeah, I mean, I think again, like we've talked about it as business as usual. I think overall, I think it's definitely not just on my situation. I think in general, we talk about knowing, hey, you're not in the sale process versus an owner is going to be here, Peter and Ron for 10 plus years, and that's not there. That's at least conversation. But in terms of what we're trying to do, on the field, my situation, it's been just, again, like straight up conversation, myself and John, and hoping to try to get something done here soon.
Does it impact talking with potential free agents?
No, I mean, again, I think like the conversations we've had, it really hasn't been brought up a lot by the free agents we're talking to. I think it's, again, like how we've operated, it has been, here's our budget, this is what we have to do. We've been willing to talk about multi-year deals. We obviously signed Michael to a multi-year deal. We've been looking to add into the future. And it hasn't really been something that other agents have brought up to us, as we've gone through the process. I think it's more of like, here's our budget. This is what we have to work with. If there's a situation that comes up that, extends that, or if we want to take that down, no real different. I talked to the conversation between Josh and myself and John Seiler. We have that conversation. We go from there. So.
Is potentially looming lockout complicating things, conversations, player additions, anything along those lines?
I kind of went into the offseason not really sure how that was going to play out. Obviously, like throughout the industry, it doesn't really feel like it's impacted too much. I think our conversations, not too much either, honestly. I think it feels like, agents and clubs are operating in a way that, hey, what's best for us right now and the future. And I don't feel like things have really been changed much by the possibility of, what goes on with the labor situation in the next year.
I think a lot of entities here, I think a lot of people understand that, with every game that they miss, it's going to be catastrophically bad for Major League Baseball. And I also think that both the players and the agents and the owners understand that they're going to be playing baseball eventually. And they're going to need contracts. And I don't think there's not going to be a single labor negotiation that affects current contracts, because even if these guys sign, there's going to be if they decide to do like what's the main focus of the next labor negotiations? It's a salary cap, right? That is the main focus of the labor negotiations. Yes, there's other things too. Like the players are going to want some stuff back. There's other conversations about probably extra days off. There's probably conversations about other ideas that maybe Rob Manfred wants to push for. There's probably going to be conversations about how they do the playoffs, how many teams make the playoffs, what the payment is like for the playoffs. There's going to be conversations not only about the salary cap, but about television and a central televised TV contract. I mean, look at it again, just this came out 44 minutes ago from Evan Drellich. Spring training's about to begin, and they're starting to jump ship. The Cardinals are leaving FanDuel, SN, and Main Street for Major League Baseball. I mean, a lot of the RSNs are failing, and most of the teams in Major League Baseball, a big chunk of them, are moving to Major League Baseball for the TV. I mean, eventually they're going to have a centralized TV contract like the National Football League, which I know is exactly what all the owners, aside from like the Dodgers, Yankees, and Red Sox, want. Maybe the Giants too. But that's something else they're going to have a conversation about. But the reality is, with all of these conversations, these guys' contracts are not getting changed. They're going to be grandfathered in, if anything. I would imagine that maybe a lot of these guys just want to get signed and know where they're going to be for the next couple of years. Even if they get shut out for an entire year and they don't get paid for the entire year, they still have to honor the contracts of all the other years on these contracts. And then they do these prorated contracts that they might have to do as well. I mean, they're going to find ways to get paid. It sounds like it's business as usual for every team in Major League Baseball and for every player and for every agent. I don't think they're really that afraid about the labor negotiations in terms of signing somewhere to play in free agency. A lot of multi-year deals have been handed out. A lot of deals with player opt-outs have been handed out. A lot of deals with player deferrals have been opted out or have been handed out. I don't think that's been a really big factor. And based on what AJ Preller has said, and I believe what he's saying, I don't think anybody is really that worried about the Padres selling, the organization selling to a new ownership group for the future. I don't think there's any free agent on top of that that's worried about signing with the Padres because of labor negotiations or signing contracts in general. These guys need a place to play. If they don't have a place to play, they're not playing, they're not getting paid. And that there's going to be more pressure about that in the next 8 days when people start showing up to spring training in Arizona and Florida. And then you're going to see a lot of guys start to sign even more because they're not going to have the leverage anymore. And they're slowly starting not to have the leverage as you see players start to take deals that are a little bit less. Eugenio Suarez signed with the Reds again. Eugenio Suarez got $15 million. He only got $3 million more than Luis Arráez. In what world does that make any sense? I don't know. He needed a place to play. He signed with Cincinnati. He's in a place. There's going to be more guys that are going to take some cuts like that to then be able to be on a roster in 2026. I think that is the current goal for all the players that are still out there and for all the teams. We're focused on 2026. We will cross that bridge when we get there on the labor negotiations. I firmly believe that. That's why I think these additions coming up here for the Padres, because they got to add some pieces that are got to be bats. They got to add another starting pitcher. I think they're going to be. I think they're waiting on a discount right now, and they're waiting for an opportunity to strike and get value. That's where the Padres are at right now because they've already spent the money. There's one more thing that AJ Preller talked about that we're going to play in the next hour. We are going to give away Aztec tickets in the 1 o'clock hour. That's coming up later on the show. They play tomorrow night. Also, San Diego FC's in action tomorrow. We got a lot to get to on the show. Continuing our recap of Fan Fest in the next hour. Our baseball hour, Braden Surprenant Show. There's a look at some of them. We're going to have Frank kind of walk around as I kind of go through what some of these promotional items are. But the Padres today announced their 2026 promotional schedule, including giveaways, theme games, and events. Every homestand, you can get single game tickets for the 2026 regular season home games on sale on Tuesday, February 3rd. So you got to still wait until next Tuesday at 10 in the morning Pacific time by visiting www.padres.com. Season ticket members have priority access to tickets and enjoy the best available seats. Season ticket memberships have sold out for the 4th consecutive season due to franchise record demand, and therefore all remaining tickets for the 2026 season are available on a single game basis. So these will be, you could buy tickets starting on February 3rd. There are 15 all-fan giveaways planned for the 2026, highlighted by fan favorites such as high-quality wearables, stylish hats, and bobbleheads, all of which take place during select home games throughout the season, limited to the first 40,000 fans in attendance. There are 3 different styles of hats this year, and there's a bunch of other stuff. We're going to get to that, but we'll just kind of go through the beginning of the season to the end. And see if you could follow along here, Frank, with what we got. But the first giveaway will be on Friday, March 27th. That's the day after opening day. That's the Tony Gwynn opening day. There's going to be an opening series scarf presented by Sequan Casino Resort. Start season in style with a Cozy Padres opening series scarf, which looks nice. It's great. Nice little scarf. At the beginning games, the early games at Petco Park are usually kind of chilly. But that's a good-looking scarf right there. So that will be against the Tigers on Friday, March 27th. On Monday, March 30th, this one's super cool. On Monday, March 30th, they have I'm a sucker for 1998 stuff. They have a 1998 belt bag, which is perfect for it's a bag that you could bring into the ballpark, which is awesome. I know my mom's got a bag like that. My girlfriend's got a bag like that. There's a lot of different. My sister's got a bag like that, and a lot of people use them to get in the stadiums, but now you can have a Padres one, which is great. So 1998 colors too. So they've seen they've debuted the original one that they had. They've had a City Connect one, and now they got a Padres 1998 belt bag. So that will be pretty cool for everybody out there. That's Monday, March 30th. On to Thursday, April 9th against the Rockies will be the Manny's Hot Corner bobblehead. So it's Manny Machado playing third base. They got the flames around the side. It's presented by McDonald's. First 40,000 in attendance. Display-worthy collectible features Machado at third base and is a keepsake for all the faithful. That's a nice little. I like the little bottom there. That's pretty cool. What is that? Is that the armband? Pink armband? Yeah, it looks nice. Again, if you want to go back, you can rewatch this on YouTube and take a look at everything in the on the deal here. Let's move on to the next one. Wednesday, April 15th, versus Seattle Mariners. The puffer vest presented by State Farm. That's that vest right there on the table. That's pretty nice. The best part about this is, like, when I was a kid, like, some of the giveaways were kind of lame, but now they have made them so legit. I mean, that's a nice little vest right there. It's presented by State Farm. That will be again on April 15th against the Seattle Mariners, a Wednesday game at 6:40. Not a Wednesday day game. It's a Wednesday night game. First 40,000 fans get that. Against the Cubs, there's a waffle beanie presented by Motorola Razr. Waffle beanies on April 28th against the Cubs. Top off your fit with a soft waffle beanie made for night games at the ball and a ballpark photo op. This item is limited to the first 40,000 fans in attendance as well. So that's pretty cool. Like the bobblehead. The one they had last year was cool too, but the beanie, the one they had last year was cool too. First bobblehead for Mason Miller, Thursday, May 7th, at least in a Padres uniform. They got the Mason Miller bobblehead. Watch your speed. Elite pitching with a bobblehead that nods to Miller's clutch moments on the mound. He's got fire coming off of the baseball on his delivery, which is super cool. You can bring that a little bit closer to the camera if you want. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So Mason Miller bobblehead giveaway Thursday, May 7th. And hour number 2 of the Braden Surprenant Show on a Monday morning. It's Groundhog Day today. Not like one that like repeats over and over and over again. But I will tell you this. Punxsutawney Phil saw his shadow. So 6 more weeks of winter. If that's what this is outside, sure. Sounds good. Punxsutawney. Sounds good. Frank, you can't spell college. You want to spell Punxsutawney for me? Listen, man.
P-U-X Atani.
Atani. You don't know how to spell. I have to look it up every single year. Punxsutawney Phil.
Yeah.
Spells his name.
P-H-I-L.
No.
That's not how you spell Phil?
No. Not the way Punxsutawney spells it.
Oh, okay.
P-U-N-X.
Where's
S-U-T.
N?
P-U-N-X. S-U-T-A-W-N-E-Y. Punxsutawney.
He's stupid.
I don't know why that you think he's dumb. You like the wintertime, so
No, I like the winter time. I'm not saying that. I'm saying he's dumb because he doesn't know how to spell his name, just like you say with everyone who spells Braden wrong.
Spells Punxsutawney weird?
He spells Punxsutawney wrong.
What's the correct spelling of Punxsutawney?
P-H-I-L.
Just Phil.
Yeah, just go with Phil.
Why do you have to be Punxsutawney?
Exactly.
Punxsutawney sounds like it'd be like a mascot for a hockey club.
You're kind of locking yourself into one certain spot if you put like the city you live in. Like, I'm not going to be New York Frank because I have moved to San Diego, and I'm not going to be San Diego Frank because what if I move again?
Punxsutawney. Punks-Otani. Otani. O-H-T-A-N-I. Punxsutawney sounds like a hockey mascot. You could literally go Pucks-A-Tani.
We forgot about something.
What?
I just got a text from JR saying that there is a gentleman in the lobby.
Oh.
With breakfast for us.
That's right.
We completely forgot about that.
Was it breakfast or lunch? I thought he was coming for lunch.
I believe. Yeah, let me go and grab what we got here.
All right, you can go grab it. I will talk about something else. Should we talk about Luis Arráez since he's here? He's the big Luis Arráez fan. So Frank's going to go get the breakfast for us. You make sure you eat that outside, by the way. Not allowed to eat that inside. But I do want to talk about some of the stuff that happened over. We're going to play more sound for you. Jackson Merrill met with the media on Saturday as well. We're going to play some sound, from AJ Preller. And the last thing on AJ Preller, he talks about the situation with Yu Darvish. So we're going to dive into that as well. But we got a lot of different things to clip off for you from over the weekend. Again, if you want to get any of that content, extra content, you got to go to the YouTube page. 97 Through the Fan SD. Go to the 97 Through the Fan's YouTube page. You will be in a it's going to have everything that you need Padres wise, and stick to us like the whole year. Same thing with our page at B_SURP at BSURP. On our YouTube page, we've got a lot of you that have become members. We appreciate you guys doing that. Again, it's free to subscribe. There are some membership fees if you want to join as a member. A lot of guys have done that already, men and women. I've joined our show. We're going to push more content out there for you, do some members only podcasts and all that sort of fun stuff that we're going to get into. But now I'm starving. I forgot about the burrito.
So
he came earlier than I thought.
Yeah, that was a surprise for all of us. Our orders are in.
Braden Escondido, man.
Very nice guy. Even nicer now that we know that his wife manages the building. He also said that
is he upset about Luis?
Now that Luis Arráez is gone, he said the only player that's worth anything right now on the Padres is hope. So he gave us some hope here with his latest
latest wine cork bobblehead deal.
It's hope. It's not an Arráez wine
That's
cork
awesome.
bobblehead. It's a hope little bobblehead here.
Well, that's like a gnome.
I don't think it's a bobblehead.
Yeah, he made that was cool for opening day. Did you see that when he made like riding a horned frog on the thing?
So we've got hope now.
All right. Let's play the clip from AJ Preller on Yu Darvish.
Let me get my bearings back here. Hold on.
It's all ball bearings nowadays. I had that conversation with Jack Cronin. We were quoting Fletch for like 4 minutes straight leading into the USD men's basketball broadcast. And like we're talking on the headset and we connect to ESPN like way before. Some guy at ESPN was listening to us give Fletch quotes. It's all ball bearings nowadays.
All right, ready to go when you are.
All right, we can talk about Pup and Taco next. AJ Preller talking about the Yu Darvish situation with the Padres.
Yeah, I mean, on you, it's again, we're working through the process with him. I think he's, I've had a lot of conversation with you throughout the off season, and I think he's been super clear, with what's important to him. I think from our standpoint, he's a very unique player. He's a very unique individual. We've got a great relationship. He's got a great relationship with the organization. He's been clear from the beginning that, he's not going to do something that his heart isn't into, or he wants to make sure that the organization is strong and he's able to, to help in any way possible. That's been on the field a lot, but he also, wants to continue to help in all different ways. So, we will continue to work through it and continue to hopefully have a little bit more clarity here as we go over the next couple of weeks.
I think he's going to join the organization in some capacity. I think he's going to be part of this organization in some capacity. I don't think he's going anywhere. And we'll see if he pitches again. I don't think my guess is that I don't think he will, but that doesn't mean he can't. He's gonna try to go through the process. He's gonna try to, mend back. He's gonna do all of that. But to me, I feel like he is starting to transition into a advisory role or a role to help the organization. And you could tell, like in the quotes that we had from you in the paper when Kevin Acee broke the news that he was retiring, which, he says he's not retiring. Kevin Acee said he did. Retiring's probably not the right word used in that particular case. But when he broke the news that he might be voiding his contract, Yu Darvish talked about how important Peter Seidler was to him. And he talked about how he wants to try to win for Peter, and he wants to do that at any point, like in any type of role. And then you hear AJ Preller talk about the exact same thing right here. And I think that's what they're working on right now, is finding a role for Yu Darvish to impact this organization in some capacity. And I think having a part of the organization in some capacity is going to be huge for this Padres work. I think he could do a lot of great things for this Padres organization. I mean, you talk about from a pitching standpoint, of him being able to coach the pitchers. I mean, you have a core group right now of so many great pitching minds with this team, and you add Yu Darvish to it, it could even be more devastating from the coaching side of things in terms of how tough Padres pitchers are. They already have a lot of guys that throw high velo, which can't be coached, and guys that have that, dog in them, if you will, that want the ball, that want to get after it. We talked with Mason Miller and with Joe Musgrove about it. They got guys that want the ball and want to get after the best hitters on the other team. That's what we want to see in bullpens. That's what we want to see in starting pitching. And adding Yu Darvish to this group would be great. He does speak English, by the way. I don't know why they say he doesn't speak. He speaks English. He just doesn't do interviews in English. But he could be a great coach, I think, for this organization. I think whatever they decide to do, Frank, I think Yu Darvish is going to be part of this organization, and I think he's going to be a big impact on this organization.
I think so as well. And with how he's ingrained himself into not just the organization, but into the city as well, I think it would be incredibly surprising if Yu Darvish doesn't have at least some sort of ambassador role with this team in the near future. Whether or not he pitches again, I don't know. But I find it very, very hard to believe that Yu Darvish will not have his hand in the Padre organization in some way, shape, or form.
I think so too. I mean, I think that's going to be the task coming up for the Padres is putting together a place for him to be that he feels comfortable, and he's going to do something that he wants to feel like he's making an impact. And I think the Padres could really use a guy like Yu Darvish part of their organization. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think I'd be shocked if he pitches again. I really would. I'd be shocked if he pitches again. But with the voiding of the contract, and you could potentially sign him back and all that stuff, I mean, they're going to work this thing out. He's going to go to spring training, and he's going to help. He's going to help rehab himself at the same time. And I think there's a place for him as part of this org. And I would hate to see Yu Darvish leave this organization because I think he really likes it here in San Diego. We get a lot of people that DM us from the North County that interact with Yu Darvish in the community a lot, of him just being a normal dude. Him and his family love being here. And I think he could be a big component for the success of this organization in the long term. And again, this is the type of people you want in your organization at the major league level. Good baseball people, but also good people in general. So I'm curious to see where this goes. I know the report might have jumped the gun a little bit when it comes to, retirement, but it sounds like a contract's going to get voided, and I think the Padres are going to save some money on that deal. And I think Yu Darvish is going to be back with this organization, and I don't think he's going to leave. And I think he's going to impact this club, and just it won't be on the mound. It will be helping others on the mound. It will be helping with a lot of different areas around, I think, the front office. But I think Yu has done so much good for this organization, and bringing him in was so great by A.J. Preller when they brought him in from Chicago in a trade. You couldn't ask for a better person to represent the Padres than a guy like Yu Darvish.
No, absolutely. And also, I did see, I believe it was on Foul Territory, during that interview with A.J. Przinsky that Kevin Acee had, I believe it was on Friday. He did say that Acee knew better than to use the term retirement. So that was a mistake. He owned up to it, said he shouldn't have done it, and now we move on from there.
We got more stuff for you to play, or more stuff for us to play for you guys. A lot of information coming out from the Padres Fan Fest. We're on the players. We're going to hear from Fernando Tatis Jr. We're going to hear from Jackson Merrill. We're going to try to clip up some other things from other Padres that talked at Fan Fest as we continue the show. When we come back, we'll hear a little bit from Jackson and what he did during this offseason and what he took away from last season. Some really good stuff from the young center fielder for the Padres when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97 through the Fan. August on 97 through the Fan. Join us on the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys helping good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime. Since 2010, visit davidpshapirolaw.com. Scarf down half of that burrito.
Yeah, I know. I got through half of mine. I have no idea how I've gotten through that much.
I'm going to have to scarf down the other half during the next break. So I tell people all the time, like, my friend and then my mom, like, they go, you got to eat more during, like, how do you, like, you got to eat during at work or something. I'm like, when? When do you want me to eat?
DoorDash is expensive.
Not even that. Like, even if I brought my own lunch.
Yeah, how do you heat it up?
I have 5 minutes.
You have 5 minutes to heat it up, and then you don't get to eat it.
It's about like a minute
until after it's cold again.
I gotta like eat it in bunch. It's gonna take me an hour to like eat, and then I'm like this after breaks. Like doing a radio show is not conducive to eating. It's not. It's not. It's too hard. It's too hard to do. I am also a very slow eater, so it doesn't help me. I mean, I'm trying to eat this as fast as possible, but I want to thank Braden Escondido for dropping by the burrito.
Yeah, they're very, very, very good.
Very good. Thank you very much. I forgot about it, but it's great. Anyway, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. How did I not know about this YouTube live radio station? By the way, we're live too. Juice, we're live on the Braden Surprenant Show page.
Yes, we are.
Oh, we mention it a lot, though. I mean, we mention it a lot about, like, you can watch our show on YouTube and where to follow us and stuff like that. The people that don't like us on Twitter like to comment on that all the time. They always talk about themselves. Hey, brand awareness. Brand awareness. Brand awareness.
It's called self-promotion. But
that's right, buddy.
Ain't no one else going to do it for us.
Yeah, we're going to try to do it ourselves here. You can watch all of our shows on YouTube. You can watch Ben and Woods on YouTube. You can watch our show on YouTube. You can watch Gwen and Chris on YouTube. All of our shows are live on YouTube. You can watch the pre and post game show on YouTube too.
Yes. Oh, wait, what? Oh, yeah, that's right. We did do that.
Are you kidding me?
I forgot.
Hey, I do want to. I want to bring
that
up.
out. Pardon me.
I do want to ask. Anthony Sebastian in the chat had to ask, "Where's the collage?
Shut up, man.
Where's the collage?"
I was trying to do 3 different things last night, and I made an error in my spelling, one that I've already owned up to. And yeah, I know I'm dumb. Let's just leave it at that. And I'm also full now because now that I've stopped eating and actually had a little bit of water, that the burritos now, I'm starting to feel it now.
Jocelyn, we're making new shirts soon. They're coming in March. Working on that. We're gonna make more shirts for you. We're gonna make the. We're gonna make. You know what? I do want to make a Windsock shirt. I don't want to make a foul shirt. If you want to design one for me, let me know. Use your design.
Oh no.
Where's
let's not do
Juan
that,
Ruiz? Where's Juan Ruiz? I'm sure he's got a meme he could put somewhere.
That starts the whole royalties conversation. Yeah, let's not do that.
I can have AI do it for me. Probably could.
Probably could.
833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. There's a lot of good stuff that we have on our YouTube page today from the weekend on Saturday. A lot of good stuff from Tatis, Jackson Merrill, Michael King. Not all of it got posted on Twitter. A lot of them are on YouTube. If you want to watch the full pressers, you could go there. We're going to play some sound from it throughout the entire show. Let's get to some stuff that Jackson Merrill talked about on Saturday when he met with the media. Now, Jackson Merrill was first asked about what he took away from last season. It's a very short answer, but again, his sophomore year in Major League Baseball, what was the big takeaway for Jackson?
Toughness tested last year, adversity handled, but I figured as I've grown older and kind of gotten a little deeper in the game, gotten a lot better at handling it. So, rebounded from that, gone through the offseason, gotten healthy, and I'm ready to go.
I thought he went through a little adversity last year for probably one of the first times in his life, right? I mean, in terms of like a baseball perspective. He's had a lot of success. Last year, you could tell he was frustrated with the way that he played. I don't even think he had that bad of a year. It just, teams adjusted. And I think knowing the player that is Jackson Merrill and how locked in he is.
Bless you.
I want to say locked in. I wouldn't say like.
No, he's definitely on.
He's on all the time.
Mm-hmm.
He's never not on, except for probably when he hangs out with his boys. Aside from that, this guy's thinking baseball all the time.
And even then, like I got to see a little bit of that side of Jackson. I told you this walking the car on Thursday, of him playing ping pong after a game and just being so chill and so relaxed, joking around. And it's like he switched off. And the only thing I could think to myself was, they already love this kid. If the people got to see this side of him too, they would never let him leave. They would put up a GoFundMe to make sure he stayed in San Diego after his contract came up.
Guy's always thinking about baseball, man. He's always like just locked into baseball. And when he has, he learned a lot about how baseball was basically adjusting to how do we get Jackson Merrill out. He's going to put the time in and make the adjustments back. I think Jackson Merrill is going to have a pretty big year. I mean, I continue to look at this team, and as everybody has already said, people we look at this team in a vacuum of look at this hole, look at that hole, look at this hole. I continue to tell you, look at other teams in the National League. 6 of them are going to make the playoffs. 3 are going to be division winners, which leaves you, again, there's 30 teams in Major League Baseball. There's 15 teams in the National League. You have to do better than 9 of them. You have to do better than 9 of them. And you could start looking at a lot of the teams in Major League Baseball specifically on the National League side, and be like, Padres are better than this team. Like, I do this exercise every spring, every January, February, right? When baseball starts to get a little slow in terms of not a lot of movement, and we're not there yet. We still got to wait it out for pitchers and catchers to report and all this other stuff. But again, I tell you, look at the standings of last year, look at what the teams are at, and start telling me who's going to be better than the Padres. Start the National League West. Okay, you got to be better than 9 teams, right? If I did the math correctly. I don't like doing math on air because it never really works out like that.
Math are hard.
You got to do better than 9 teams. Are you better than the Rockies?
God, I hope so.
Cross them off the list.
Oh, boy.
Cross them off the list. Now you're going to be better than 8 teams.
If this bunch ain't better than the Rockies,
I'm
there's
just
some
saying.
problems.
Seriously.
There's some problems or injuries.
Now you got to be better than 8 teams. Are you better than the Nationals?
Again, you better hope so.
They're better than the Nationals. I mean, it's arbitrary. But now you're going to be better than 7 teams. The Cardinals. Are the Cardinals even trying this year?
No.
They don't want to win. They signed Dustin May. We don't want to win. They traded away the 2 guys that were under contract for a long time. They're trying to go young. They're in rebuild mode. They're going to suck. They're not trying to win. Cross them off the list. Now you got to be better than 6 teams. The Atlanta Braves, the Miami Marlins. The Padres right now are better than both of those teams.
Yes, the Braves are going to be better, and I'm interested to see how the Marlins
I think they're both going to be better
from last year. But I would say the Padres are better than both those teams as we sit.
You cannot honestly tell me you know ball, look me in the eye and tell me the Miami Marlins have a better roster than the San Diego Padres. I would rather have the Miami Marlins roster than the San Diego Padres roster. You cannot physically tell me that.
When did I say that?
Cross them off the list. So now you got to be better than 5 teams. Let's talk about Atlanta. I think the Padres are already better than Atlanta.
Yeah.
Atlanta's going to be better.
I just said both.
But again,
Padres are better than both of them.
I know. I'm not talking to you. I'm
Oh,
talking to
okay.
you.
I was going to say.
Cross Atlanta off the list. Now you got to be better than what? 5 teams? 4 teams? Where are we at now? Cross off Colorado, St. Louis, Washington. That knocks you down to 6. Miami, Atlanta knocks you down to 4. You got to be better than 4 teams. The Pittsburgh Pirates. I think the Pirates are going to be better. You can't honestly tell me that the Pirates have a better roster than the San Diego Padres.
No.
Oh, they added Ryan O'Hearn. It's cool.
Yeah, they'll be better, but they're not going to be contention.
They're not going to be better than the Padres. Now you're down to 3 teams you got to be better than. The Cincinnati Reds. I think they made some noise last year, but I look at the Reds roster. I'm not like totally, you're not blowing my doors off.
Made some noise last night, too, signing a Eugenio Suarez 1 year, $15 million.
Right, but they got young guys.
Oh, no, they're not going to be better.
But they're not better.
No.
You can't look at the Reds roster and be like, that's better than the Padres roster. Now you got to be better than 2 teams. And those 2 teams are in your division. It's San Francisco and it's Arizona. I think the Giants got a lot better. I think Arizona's good. I still think the Padres roster is better than both of those rosters. And now you're a playoff team. You don't have to worry about being better than the Phillies or the Cubs or the Dodgers. They're going to make the playoffs anyway. You might have to worry about maybe the Mets and the Brewers, right? Like the other 2 teams. But if you look at it from that perspective of 2 teams getting a nod to the playoffs, 3 division winners and 3 wild cards, you're better than all the other teams that you're competing with.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to come down to, can you outplay the Cubs? Really not the Cubs, it's the Brewers. Based on, I think, where the division's at. But I've said that every year. And the Brewers magically pull 97 wins out of their ass. So maybe they do know what they're doing over there. I mean, they trade away good players and get better somehow. I don't know what kind of magic they're doing. I don't know what they're putting in the Miller Lite up there in Wisconsin.
Cheese.
The cheese curds. The cheese curd roster up there. But yeah, my opinion is the Cubs are going to win that division, which means you got to be better than Milwaukee, maybe. You got to do better than the Mets, maybe. Depends if the Phillies or the Mets are the best team in that division. One of those you have to be better than, slightly. And then you got to deal with the Giants and the Diamondbacks. Those are the teams you're competing with for a playoff spot. And 3 of those spots are open. So again, as much as you want to sit there and be like, we need XYZ, we need this guy, we need that guy, this roster is terrible. There's no way they're going to be, like, if they're better than they were in 2023, I'd be shocked. But the reality of the situation is, start looking at other teams. The Padres roster, as assembled right now, if they don't make any other changes, are better than the majority of teams in the National League. Now, if you want to compete in the playoffs, yeah, you're going to have to find a way to beat Chicago, to beat Philadelphia, to beat Los Angeles. But until that point, if we're just talking about playoffs, the Padres roster is more complete than a lot of the teams in the National League, Frank.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. And again, we discussed it last on Friday, the 8 teams that might have us move up their sleeve. All of them had one thing in common, in that they were looking for starting pitching. So when you say, oh, well, the starting pitchers aren't all that great, no one has a complete rotation in Major League Baseball right now. Absolutely no one. So you look at the rest of the team, and yeah, the Padres do. I mean, they're more or less running it back from what they did last year with one addition. But I would take this roster over most any in Major League Baseball, both in the National League and the American League.
Yeah, you didn't even have to worry about the American League. I mean, you play the Padres didn't even do that well against the American League last year, which I find shocking because I thought overall the National League was better than the American League across the board. I just thought their teams were a lot better. And the Padres didn't do well. But the thing is, it's like you don't necessarily have to be that good against the American League and make noise in the National League. I mean, those are just kind of fun games, if you will. They're not friendlies because they still count in the standings. And if you lose all the series against the American League teams, you're going to be in a jam. But at the same time, you don't have to worry about the American League. And there's something about the Dodgers that Jackson Merrill talked about, which I agree with. And it goes through this conversation, and we'll play that for you when we come back as we take a break on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Antonio Sports Station 97 through the Fan.
Quinn and Chris on the Fan.
Kicking a week off, we have Super Bowl week. Plus, we'll look back at Fan Fest as well as the Aztecs over the weekend.
Listen to Quinn and Chris weekdays from 2 to 6 on 97.3 The Fan.
Home means everything to you. So when rates drop, you don't just sit back. Rocket Mortgage watches the market to help you save money when the time is right. We make refinancing simple and savings even simpler. Never miss a new lower monthly payment with Rocket Mortgage. Learn more at rocketmortgage.com or call 1-800-4ROCKET for cost information and conditions. Conditions apply. Not a commitment to lend. Rocket Mortgage, LLC, licensed in all 50 states. NMLS ConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
Jack, when you look back on 75 years...
Oh, I'm not looking back. I'm bringing back my Chicken Supreme. Comes in a combo and munchie meal. This fan favorite starts at just $5.49, and the munchie meal comes with a collectible Jimmy. Welcome to Jack. Full stack, limited time only. Price participation may vary.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com. Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. And now, during our President's Day sale, take 50% off our limited edition bed. Shop now for a limited time. Only at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com.
Fishing is back on the Fan. Let's Talk Hookup has returned to 97.3 The Fan, Saturday 7 to 8 a.m. and Sunday 7 to 9 a.m. Get all the latest fishing info. Let's Talk Hookup weekends on 97.3 The Fan. This program is sponsored and produced by Let's Talk Hookup. The opinions and offers expressed are not those of Odyssey Incorporated, nor 97.3 The Fan.
Did you know that buying auto insurance and reporting an accident after crashing your car is a felony crime? Falsely reporting your car as stolen or intentionally getting into an accident for the insurance payout is also illegal. These crimes are auto insurance fraud, and they cost Californians millions, billions of dollars every year. That's why the San Diego County District Attorney's Office and the California Department of Insurance work together to investigate this costly fraud. For more information, visit SanDiegoDA.com or call 1-800-315-7672.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon. Hello? You won't believe where I am. Are you running? Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus, 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing. Mom, how do you feel? I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture. And then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Credits and 2 eligible quotas, such as 55 plus for well-qualified customers with auto pay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance equipment 128 gigabyte, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Google Speed Best Intelligence Data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I am grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is an Odyssey Sports Minute.
Sponsored by Ethos. Learn more and get your free quote at ethos.com/play. The Arizona Cardinals have found their guy. The Cardinals are hiring Rams offensive coordinator Michael LaFleur as their new head coach, the one who wasn't actually calling plays. But now he's going to be the head coach of the Cardinals. Is this the right move for the Cardinals? This could get a little dicey. I'm Addie Bates.
This hour of Sports Talk is brought to you by Rivermark Medical. Rivermark Medical is conducting a rapid-3 study for FlowStem, a minimally invasive device designed to relieve symptoms from BPH. Men 45 or older suffering from frequent, painful, or difficulty urinating may qualify. Learn more at rivermarkmedical.com. That's rivermarkmedical.com.
Thanks for spending your day with the Braden Surprenant Show, broadcasting live from the Bill House Studios. We know how.
Let's get it. 15 passenger, this is a Jeep, not a Challenger. I get some members with me.
11:39. All guests on 97 through the Fan. Join us on the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys helping good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. We're going to be giving away Aztec tickets coming up in the 1 o'clock hour to Aztecs basketball as they take on the Wyoming Cowboys tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. We will also be announcing our biggest fan. Remember to listen at 1 o'clock for us to announce today's biggest fan for a chance to qualify for a night in our Odyssey suite at a future Padres game with all the fan staff. Register your name at 97throughthefansd.com/biggest fan in order to potentially have your name called. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973 if you want to join the show today. All right. Let's get to what Jackson Merrill said about, as we talked about, focusing on, why am I backwards on this thing?
You're fine.
No, I'm mirrored. There we go. I was like, why do I look different on there? Anyway, let's get back to Jackson Merrill and what he was talking about at Fan Fest. We talked about not having to worry about the American League teams. You shouldn't really have to worry about a handful of National League teams. And it comes into the season every single year, as I mentioned. 6 teams make the playoffs in the National League. You have to be better than 9 teams. Padres need to be better than 9 teams. And you can start crossing names off the list. And when you start looking at other rosters that you're competing with, you will understand very quickly the Padres have a playoff caliber roster. It's not a guarantee, right? It's not a guarantee, but it's a playoff caliber roster. The Dodgers are what everybody wants to compare the Padres to. All Padres fans, basically every fan in baseball, is constantly comparing themselves to LA because that is the team to beat in Major League Baseball, especially with their unlimited resources and all this other stuff. But when asked about it, Jackson Merrill had the right answer on why he doesn't focus on the Dodgers offseason moves.
Have another one of their typical off seasons, adding every all-star they can possibly think of. When you see that, does that almost make you want to double down and be like, okay, it's going to be more fun to beat them now?
No, I don't really think anything about that. I don't think that should be the focus. I think the focus should be winning baseball games against every team. I don't think focusing on the Dodgers is going to help us win it all. I think if you focus on a certain team, when you get to play that team, you're going to tense up. You're not going to be the same team. You got to go into that series like we're playing anybody else. That's how it is. Everybody has a good baseball team nowadays. Nobody's bad. Pitching is good everywhere. So, they might have added a couple bats and stuff, but we got to go in, we got to play hard. That's the only way we're going to beat them.
It's 100% right. I know it's a cliche, but they don't need to focus on anybody but themselves. That's why Marty Schottenheimer used to have the one play at a time, one game at a time, one series at a time, all the one things at a time. As much as as a kid, you would listen to that and be like, yeah, whatever, old man. I used to all the time as a kid, as a young athlete, you'd be like, yeah, okay, yeah, one play. You don't realize how important that is till you become an adult. About just being able to control what you can control and taking it one step at a time. We do that on the show, one segment at a time. Makes it breeze right through instead of thinking the overall synopsis of filling 4 hours, right? You get that, you get overwhelmed about what we have to do and thinking about the 162, how are we going to do this, how are we going to do that? Simplify it. And when you're Jackson Merrill and you're saying that at a young age, I mean, yeah, sure, he's saying all the right things, and who knows how he's actually feeling. I think these guys are really trained well when it comes to talking to the media. But when you look at this Padres team, he's right. If they just focus series to series of let's win tonight's game, let's win the series, as their process, they're going to be able to look at the end of the year at the leaderboard and know that their name's near the top. Kiss. Keep it simple, stupid. I agree with that. 100%. And the thing about the Dodgers, I mean, as much as they're the rival here in this division, the reality is the Padres are now in a position where they're not such a little brother of the division and now a threat in the division every single year. And the other teams have gotten better. It's going to be a very competitive division in the National League. It's time to stop overhyping that series. By us included. I mean, it's time to stop overhyping that series. It's time to start viewing that series as any other series that the Padres are going to play. Because I think that fuels the Dodgers a lot when it comes to when they play other teams. I think other teams get a little bit too hyped up to play the big bad Dodgers. I see that at a lot of different levels. They win on the intimidation factor by showing up, and the uniforms win the game. I've seen that a lot of times with coaching high school football. I'm at the evil empire of Cathedral Catholic. Everybody hates us. I've seen a lot of times where we've played good football teams in town that get psyched out when we show up. And we didn't do anything. We just showed up. Wearing the uniform. I've seen our guys do that as players with other teams that we know about, like legendary teams that we end up playing. We play De La Salle. We play any team in the southern section. That's a southern section team. That's St. John Bosco. There's that intimidation factor too. And I think a lot of teams succumb to that when they play Los Angeles. It's part of the overhyping of what their opponent is. And that's something that we definitely need to stop doing. Because there's no reason to overhype that. None of the players do. Some of them you might see they get a little bit extra juice for that game or for that series. But the mindset needs to be exactly what Jackson Merrill said of treating it like any other series, not paying attention to anybody but ourselves. And I like the mindset of a lot of these players going into spring training. I like the mindset of a lot of the players as they go through spring training. And it's been the last couple of years, but now it needs to be the actions on top of the word. It's on top of the words. It needs to be the action. Now, fan bases can get excited for whatever they want, but as long as the team is taking it one game at a time and one step at a time, they'll be in the right spot. Fans can do what they want. Fans can still have the fun of, hyping up the series against the Dodgers that they want. But we're going to try not to super hype it up on this show because it's another series. Keep the mindset the same. We've heard that the last couple of spring trainings. We'll see what the actions are. But based on what a lot of these guys have said, and a lot of these guys said at Fan Fest, this is some of the most locked in, hungry group of Padres that we've seen in a long time. I think Jake Cronenworth even said that about how they went through their offseason, how they went through Camp 44, how they went about their preparation for 2026 after 2025 ended so abruptly. And surprisingly, I think a lot of people thought that in the organization, as well as us, thought that the Padres are going to be able to handle 2 out of 3 in Chicago and be ready for a divisional series. Didn't happen last year. But to make that next step, I think Jackson Merrill's saying all of the right things coming off of a sophomore year that probably wasn't up to the level that he wanted it to be, but still a very big contributor to the San Diego Padres team and a young star that has a bright future here in San Diego. We're going to take a quick break from the Padres conversation.
Yeah, you had me there.
And we're going to get to today's sports thread.
You know that group chat? The one that's always blowing up with the biggest sports takes, debates, and breaking news?
You got barbecue back there, and you didn't invite me?
Yeah, we've got that too. Welcome to the Sports Thread, where we break down the top 5 stories in sports, just like you would with your crew.
Oh, no! Disaster! What a bad idea!
No filters, no silence, just real talk. Brought to you by QC Kinetics. Stop sitting on the sidelines. QC Kinetics gets you back in the game without surgery. To learn how, visit QCkinetics.com.
All right, Frank, talked a lot of Padres baseball, but there was a lot going on over the weekend that we haven't been able to dive into. What's the latest on today's sports thread?
Yeah, there was a good amount of stuff that we haven't touched on yet. A lot of it we'll touch on tomorrow. But first of all,
number 1,
Paul George has been suspended 25 games without pay for violating the NBA's anti-drug policy, costing him about $11.7 million and sidelining him until March 25th with only 10 regular season games left. George said the violation stemmed from taking an improper medication while seeking mental health treatment and took full responsibility. Despite his modest on-court production this season, just 16 points per game, the suspension has major ripple effects, including luxury tax relief for the Philadelphia 76ers, as well as the Sixers sit 6th in the East and try to preserve a roster built around George, Joel Embiid, and Tyrese Maxey. Does this suspension seriously threaten the Philadelphia 76ers playoff ceiling, or is the bigger story how much financial flexibility it quietly gives them heading into the stretch run?
Well, they haven't made it to the trade deadline yet, right?
Nope.
And they got a lot of big numbers here.
Mm-hmm.
I think the more significant deal is this happening before the trade deadline. Because if it happens before the trade deadline, they can actually act on that money. If this happened after the trade deadline, yeah, sure, they freeze up some money, but now they don't have Paul George and they don't have any way to really fill his roster spot. But now they can kind of make some things happen. They got a little extra spending money. So I think it's twofold. I think, yeah, it's not great for the stretch run to not have Paul George, who knows, and again, the drug abuse policy and all that stuff. But it's also, at least this happened before the trade deadline if you're the 76ers, because you can now fix this problem that you have now been dealt. So I think it's both, honestly, when it came to what your question was. Yeah, it's not great to not have one of your better players on your team be out in a significant spot, but at the same time, it happens before the trade deadline, and now you have the ability to fill that spot with some extra resources. The same thing if this would have happened in baseball, right?
Yep.
If Profar gets hit with the 81 game suspension, whatever, right before the trade deadline for Atlanta, bang, that's like, all right, let's go find somebody else. We don't have to pay this guy. We got some freed up money. But if it happens after, then you're kind of in a bad spot.
bound money is always fun, especially when it's in your wallet.
Number 2.
Especially when it's millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, look, I just found $20 million in the ground.
Well, you're sitting here talking about millions of dollars. I'll sit here and talk about billions of dollars as an estimated $1.76 billion is expected to be wagered legally on Super Bowl 60 across the United States sportsbooks.
Nice disclaimer there.
A projected 27% year-over-year increase and a potential record, according to the American Gaming Association. While most forecasts points to continued growth, boosted by expanding legal markets and strong betting activity in states like New York, some analysts believe wagering could dip slightly due to weaker storylines and rising competition from prediction markets like Kalshi. So even sports books remain bullish with multiple seven-figure bets already placed, and the Seahawks opening as the favorites over the Pats. Are prediction markets a real threat to traditional sports books, or is Super Bowl betting still untouchable no matter how fans choose to wager?
The prediction, prediction market. Have you ever looked at the prediction market stuff? Like Kalshi and
No,
Robinhood's got it now?
I don't bet, so I don't.
You have to sign up for it. I didn't get to that point, obviously, but I looked at it. Like, if you go on Robinhood or whatever, they have, you can bet you can predict the money line. Basically, you can predict the score or like the who wins. You can predict the over-under of the score. I'm sure they have different names for this. And you can predict the spread.
Wait a minute.
In prediction apps.
Isn't Robinhood a finance app? Like, isn't it a stock market app?
Yeah, they have the predictions on there too. A lot of these do. Kalshi's got that as well. You could literally take what you have on Robinhood and buy, like, it's like they view it as like buying
a stock portfolio app. It wasn't a...
Yeah, but it's more for like, it's the one of the ones that has like crypto and stuff with it. But you could go on Robinhood and you could like take the money and what you do is you pay for what they call like stock on both sides. And if your prediction happens, you get to cash out. You can also, I think, sell at its highest point in a game your thing. You buy like entities or like whatever. And it's their way around gambling. And so, yeah, I could see them losing out on some of that if you have Kalshi and these other apps where you could literally do the exact same thing, but it's predictions and it's legal in all states. I could totally see how that would be a problem. Here's the other thing too with the NFL. Somebody chirped at me for this earlier, but I said like fantasy football is the reason it keeps the NFL going. Fantasy football and gambling keeps the NFL going. I don't know how many people are actually that excited to just watch the Patriots play the Seahawks.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't feel the hype right now. It's just It's Super Bowl Sunday. We have to gather, and I don't mind that. I like gathering on Super Bowl Sunday. I like playing the squares, right? The office squares, stuff like that. It's fun to watch and kind of watch the commercial and halftime show and stuff like that. But I can't. It's not. People don't watch the Super Bowl because they really want to watch Sam Darnold play Drake May. They watch the Super Bowl because they can put money on it and it gives them something to do on a Sunday and people go out for it. That's why people watch the Super Bowl. It's not because of the game.
By the way, we'll call this as number 3.
Number 3.
We've only got a couple seconds.
Augie's got it.
Again, as Major League Baseball did on January 7th with Shohei Ohtani Day, we decided to do that for the Padres.
Yeah.
We missed Ken Caminiti Day yesterday. Happy Wally Joyner Day.
Happy Wally Joyner Day.
Happy Xavier Nady Day.
Hex Nady. I think his kid's going to Cathedral.
Always a connection.
You look at Cathedral Baseball's lineup. It has Kotze, Nady, and Darvish in it.
So,
pretty interesting.
Happy Xavier Nady Day.
Happy Xavier Nady Day. Noon, lunchtime when we come back. What did Fernando say at Fan Fest? Deeper dive. If you missed anything that we have said already, if you're driving around, we're talking about the promotional giveaways for the Padres here in 2026. If you want to check out the website, where you could get this is padres.com/giveaways, and it'll have the whole list. And again, if you want to buy tickets to these games, you could start going. The single game tickets are on sale on Tuesday, February 3rd at 10 in the morning. That's the first chance that you have. Obviously, season ticket memberships have priority to do that. As we move along, we got the patriotic Aloha shirt for the day after Memorial Day. I think May 26th. So it's a Tuesday. Maybe it's coming before, but celebrate America's upcoming 250th birthday with the Padres theme patriotic Aloha shirt. Pretty nice. Got the Blue Angels on there. It's got the Padres logo. It's got the Padres military logo on a baseball. Nice little Hawaiian shirt, patriotic, against the Phillies on May 26th. Coming up on Tuesday, June 9th against the Reds. Bogey goes boom bobblehead. You got a Xander Bogaerts finishing his home run swing with his signature gray and maroon bat. So that's pretty cool bobblehead as well. It's presented by Palomar Specialty Insurance on June 9th. So Bogaerts has a bobblehead on Tuesday, June 9th. Coming up on Monday, June 22nd against the Atlanta Braves. Got the Western snapback hat. Kind of looks like a rodeo hat. It's pretty cool looking. It's got San Diego Padres in the Western font, if you will, or San Diego Padres written in Western font with the SD logo in the middle. Pretty cool looking hat right there. That's presented by Petco. First 40,000 fans in attendance will have that one. Again, all of these are for the first 40,000 fans for these, unless I say otherwise. Wednesday, July 8th, Trevor Hoffman bobblehead. He's repping the navy blue 1998 gear. Honor the Hall of Famer and Padres legendary closer with the Trevor Hoffman bobblehead. Presented by Canels. This bobblehead limited the first 40,000 fans, so it's in stride. Trevor Hoffman, kind of a classic look at bobblehead against the Diamondbacks in July. On July 12th, just for the kids, they have the Squeeze Top water bottle, which is a kids giveaway. I don't know if they have that here today because it's a kids giveaway. Again, some of these are for the first 40,000 fans. Some of them are for the first 10,000 fans. It's a kind of little water bottle for kids 14 and under. It looks like an ice cream sundae, which is pretty cool. Tuesday, July 28th. I know a lot of you guys love this one. It's presented by Soapy Joe's The Poncho. Got the San Diego Padres poncho. Looks pretty nice. I like it. I'm sure you'll see a lot of you guys repping that out there at Padre games. That's on July 28th. Bucket hats. Everybody loves the bucket hat. You got a reversible bucket hat, which you have multiple looks for. You have the Padres white home uniform version. You also have the sand away version as well with the swinging fryer on it. Multiple looks. Home and away bucket hat will be Thursday, July 30th against the Giants. A 6:40 start, first 40,000 fans. Coming up on August 10th, a superhero pocket tee presented by San Diego Community Power, which is pretty cool. Usually right after the Comic-Con road trip that the Padres have to go on. So a little bit of a superhero t-shirt. Pretty good front and back. It's got that front pocket. Small logo in the front, big logo in the back. It's good style for a t-shirt, let me tell you. Coming up on Sunday, August 23rd, it's another kids giveaway. You can check that on the website. Monday, August 24th, the next day against the Pirates, you got the Jackson Merrill robbery bobblehead. So it's Jackson Merrill robbing a home run with the blue fence right there in his home uniform. It's a pretty cool looking bobblehead. And then this is the best one. You thought you were going to give away. You thought you were going to get a secret. You thought you were going to get a secret. You thought you were going to find out about the City Connect uniforms. Well, we have the bobblehead for the City Connect uniforms. It just hasn't been painted yet. They're not going to display that until the new City Connect uniforms are out. But they have the Fernando Tatis City Connect bobblehead presented by Big Bully Turf. That will be on Tuesday, September 8th against the Washington Nationals. Dressed in the Padres City Connect 2.0, the Tatis City Connect bobblehead presented by Big Bully Turf channels Nando's flair at the plate, limited to the first 40,000 fans in attendance. Dynamic details of this bobblehead will make it a centerpiece for your collectibles. Again, we don't know what the City Connect uniforms are yet, but that is what that will look like.
knows America's finest city like he does.
You can't just punt on a Manny Machado prime year.
He's a fourth-generation San Diegan, born and raised in the heart of this community. Passionate, opinionated, and always bringing you the real talk on your teams, your city, and everything in between.
Braden totally knows his stuff. He's ready for the next step. That guy is good.
Live and local, it's the Braden Surprenant Show.
But I think Braden's one of the up-and-coming young stars in the media game in San Diego.
Now, here's your host, Braden Surprenant.
New lunchtime hour on the Fan. We got burritos today. It was great. I got a question about burritos. Everybody's going to argue about this, but I need to know. Are you ready for this? You can't answer because you're boring.
Yes.
Sorry. I'm sorry to say that.
No,
My
fine.
apologies.
No,
That's a foul.
it's accurate, though.
I'll
No, it's not. It's not a foul if it's accurate.
Your food is boring.
It's not a foul if it's accurate.
That's a hard-nosed shot you just took there. Here's a burrito, like California burritos. Okay, I got to ask. We didn't get a California burrito from Brad. I didn't want to make it complicated because I always have to ask every place what they put in their California burrito. What is a standard California burrito? Aside from the fries, everybody, before they start freaking out. It has fries in it. Yeah, I understand that. That was what makes it a California burrito, not a carne asada burrito.
I would have to think the tortilla is like a main feature of it.
Okay.
Well, I mean...
obviously, a burrito is going to have a tortilla, okay? But
I'll take the stupidity foul on that one.
He draws the foul. What is the generic California burrito? I know a lot of taco shops claim that they were the first to ever make a California burrito. I don't want to get into that debate. Nor do I. And honestly, I don't really care. You can say what you want. But what is in a California burrito? Because everybody makes it differently. Yes, I know there's fries. Some people put guac in there. Some people don't. I prefer it with guacamole. Some people say guac and sour cream and cheese and fries. That, to me, is the best California burrito. I think you waste your time putting tomatoes and onions in there as pico de gallo. Don't get me started on pico. Okay? But to me, like, I have been to multiple taco shops that go, California burrito's got guac in it. California burrito does not have guac in it. Some people just have carne asada, cheese, and fries in their California burrito. What is the standard California burrito? For me, like, I like a California burrito with guac, cheese, sour cream, fries. I think you ruin it with the tomatoes. I by the way, jalapenos is money. Jalapenos makes theirs the right way, I have to say. Rob's Jalapenos and Carmel Mountain Ranch, they make the Cali B correctly, I think. Because I'm pretty sure that they put guac in theirs, if I'm not. Or maybe you have to add guac. I can't remember. That place is good, though. Fries, cheese, carne asada, sour cream, or guac. I prefer the guac over the sour cream. Don't give me a burrito with sour cream and fries and cheese. I need something else there. But is the original Cali burrito got guac? Dylan Robles says, original Cali burrito, guacamole, sour cream, and fries. And cheese, 100%. That's the way I get it. I have to get it that way. And then I'll go to a place. I always have to ask, and then they always respond with, it has fries in it. Yeah, I understand that. I know, I live here. I'm not from Utah. I understand there's fries in the burrito, but everybody makes it differently. I need to know what's in yours. So I should just ask, like, hey, what do you put in your California burrito aside from the fact that there's fries in it? Carne asada? Thank you. Appreciate it. Carne asada, guacamole, sour cream.
Do I take
fries.
another foul for inspiring that?
Yeah,
Or-
go ahead.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He draws the foul.
It's Foul Out Monday. We don't even know what day it is because we were on 6 days last week. So, and a tortilla. Thanks, Cole. So what is it? If you ordered a California burrito, Frank, what would you expect in the burrito? I don't know if you really have a say in this because you're boring.
I don't. No, I mean, if I order something, whatever it says on the thing is what I expect in it. I don't know. I genuinely have no idea.
Every place has it different. To me, it's got to be carne asada,
Okay.
Sour cream, cheese, and guac. And if it doesn't have sour cream, I'm okay with that.
Does it have fries on it?
Yeah.
You didn't say fries.
No, because it always comes with fries. If you say California burrito, it comes with fries. That's the whole point. Unless you leave the state of California and you listen and you see people go, "Oh, authentic San Diego Mexican food," and then they post a bunch of garbage. I'm pretty sure like some of those accounts, like San Diego, there's like some like if you know San Diego or something. I don't know. There's some of these accounts out there on Instagram, and they like to post like the fake California burritos from places. Oh, San Diego Humor, that Instagram account. They got some good submissions on San Diego Humor from people that got like, oh, look, I'm in New Mexico, and they said they had a California burrito, and it had like carnitas in it or something. Or like, yeah, here it has this like enchilada sauce or something. It's terrible.
Give it the old close.
Close. Where's Nate? Nate's shaking in his boots with the Super Bowl on Sunday because he knows they're about to get their ass kicked by the Seahawks. So, California burritos, like I think that's the case, and I appreciate Braden Escondido bringing the carne asada burrito. I have to do without the tomatoes, and I have found a new love for tomatoes. By the way, I hated tomatoes for a long period of time. Absolutely hated tomatoes, Frank. I like tomato sauce. I'd even drink V8 tomato juice. Everything about tomatoes is great except for the actual tomato until this summer, and now I can't stop eating them.
Like you went to Italy and had good tomatoes.
No, I didn't have it. I didn't have tomatoes in Italy either. I don't like tomatoes. I had it after I came back, and I had this new profound love for tomatoes.
Well, good for you.
I do the Roma tomatoes.
Good for you, and I hope to somehow find a way to break past this mental barrier that I have.
Mental barrier of what? Collages? That's a foul.
That one was a foul.
For anybody listening around on in the radio, Frank, who put the live stream together, titled it "A Trio of Defeats for San Diego Collage Basketball."
Yep, it was a collage of defeats, is what I was going for. Is what I'm blaming, and I will keep it that way.
We saw it immediately, and we were waiting to see if anybody would notice, and then Anthony Sebastian on it within the first 5 minutes. Where's the collage at?
I didn't notice it. Otherwise, I would have changed it. You know who it was that told me that I had misspelled it? That would have been a text I got 2 minutes into the show from one Dave Marcus.
Yes, Dave.
Dave is the one who told me that I spelled it wrong.
That guy went to UCLA. Probably knows how to spell. No, he went to San Diego State. He just roots for UCLA. I take that back. Probably still knows how to spell. A trio of defeats for San Diego Collage Basketball.
Yep, it was a collage of defeats.
We're getting a lot of answers here on the California burrito, which is great. I'm telling you, every place does it different. Kyle Mack 40. My taco shop keeps it simple. Just meat, cheese, and fries. You add on after that guac or sour cream. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm down for that.
I can't do the tomatoes in the thing. It overtakes it. Is rooting for UCLA considered Dodger loving? Hey, that's a good point, Adam. Everybody ever think about that? Dave Marcus? You know, maybe he is the instigator of that. Hans, did you miss our entire first 2 hours where we're talking about everything under the sun Padres baseball?
Wait a minute. Wait, what?
My guy. Foul on Hans. Come on.
He draws the foul.
We talk about a California burrito for like a couple of minutes and everybody wants to riot, except for the people that are contributing what they get at the Hans, what do you get at burrito wise, man? You got to eat your veggies. Tomatoes are fruits, Jocelyn. It's not getting that argument. Yuma, Arizona screwed me with the shredded lettuce and tomato on my California burrito. That's on one. Those will for ordering a California burrito in Yuma, bro. That's a foul. That's a foul.
He draws the foul.
That's 6 fouls in just this segment alone.
I'm pretty territorial about the California burrito. Brother, if you order a California burrito outside of San Diego County, you are rolling the dice that it's going to suck. That's true. Hans, you can go back and listen to us on the rewind on the on the feature on YouTube. It's great. You could go back and listen to all our Padres talk. Got to a lot of that stuff. You can also rewind on the Odyssey app as well.
Yes, you can.
I agree.
This game has gotten physical to open up the second half. I will say that.
A-Bomb 25. Right. What about the places that call it a California burrito and put potatoes in it instead of French fries? Awful. Foul on them.
Yeah, that's
a foul.
He draws the foul.
A California burrito has French fries. Do not muck it up by putting potatoes in there. Nobody wants that.
Well, now, hold on here. I'm just asking for clarification.
Mitch got it. Always no pico on a Cali B.
If they're like tater tots, is that okay for like instead of fries? Like that kind of like okay.
Who puts tater tots in a California burrito?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying like they're cut, they're small, they're tiny. It's not like shreds or clumps or wedges of potato in it. That's what I mean.
You could put the tater tots in the breakfast burrito. It's not like a California burrito. That's a foul for even like uttering those words on the air.
I'm trying to learn, dude.
Well, you're asking the wrong questions, hombre.
He draws the foul.
This guy, chat, are we cooked? This guy
I'm trying
just
to
asked about, can you, instead of the fries, do tater tots count in a California burrito? Brother, what? You've been hanging out with Crump too much, putting ketchup on his tacos.
No, I was genuinely asking. Like, I know, like, potato wedges and stuff like that, you quarter a potato. You don't throw that on a California burrito. But something tiny and small.
I bet you if you...
That was... I was asking a genuine question.
Daniel in the chat. You get rice in your burrito in Humboldt County ever since I had to say no rice.
That's
another...
so much for no such thing as a stupid question. My gosh.
I abide by the OMBAC rule of no dumb bleep questions.
I'm genuinely trying to learn. Like, I'm not trying to be a smart ass here.
Tater tots in a California burrito. Do you think before you speak?
I didn't mean like actual.
That could be a breakfast
tater tots. That's. I didn't mean like
what
legit.
Do you mean, like, what did you mean then? Clumps of potatoes?
No, like you know how they have like some.
What are you talking about?
Forget you now.
What are you talking about? What?
I have been humiliated into silence.
Foul's just getting hashed out for the California burrito talk. Bud. I needed to know about because everybody's got a different deal. I agree with never get pico de gallo on your California burrito. Because you know what the other thing too is tomatoes are so they make the fries soggy, man. Could you imagine if they put waffle fries in a California burrito?
I'm bowing out of that because I don't need.
That's like putting
else.
Cottage cheese on a deli sandwich. Oh, now you're upset.
Yeah, no, you got me there.
Yeah,
now
exactly.
Now you've equated something.
Exactly.
Now
the
I
waffle fries,
now.
or maybe if I ordered a California burrito and there were potato wedge fries, like those type of fries in there, I would immediately throw it in their face. The disrespect of putting potato wedges in a California burrito. We're so cooked. These questions by Frank after misspelling is crazy. You know what you just ordered? I gotta put it in Italian deli perspective. You know what Frank just ordered by putting tater tots in a Cali B? You know what you ordered?
You know how
you ordered a banana bread pastrami cottage cheese sandwich. That was what you ordered. And you are surprised that the guy running the deli smacked you in the face. Today on the Midday Sports Standoff, name an acceptable ingredient in the California burrito. There it is. There it is.
Got something more fun and obscure for you. Baseball related. So there's your hint.
I'm telling you, dude, you got to have the guac on there and the fries. I think sour cream is extra. Meat, cheese, guac, fries. That is a Cali B. Get the tomatoes off.
I'm fine with a breakfast burrito. I'm good with a breakfast burrito.
You obviously like tater tots over fries, dude. That's fine. I can't believe you uttered the words that do tater tots count. Where's my guy that ordered the burrito in Yuma? I got to go find it. Yeah, here he goes. I was trying to be safe, LOL. No, brother. You cannot be safe ordering a Cali B outside of San Diego. That's not playing it safe. You want to play it safe? bean and cheese. You want to know why? It's really hard to mess up a bean and cheese burrito. That's where you got to like start on the ground floor if you want to try out a taco shop. I know a lot of people get, like my buddy, Perez gives me crap about the bean and cheese thing. Bean and cheese hits, dude. You know what you expect. You know what you're going to get in a bean and cheese burrito. That's where you start off. It's refried beans. It's cheese. Simple. And then if you get like the pinto beans, the actual beans in there, that place needs to be excommunicated from taco shops. Not a real bean and cheese. That playing it safe is getting a bean and cheese. You're going hard in the paint, dribble drive on the Cali B and Yuma, man.
I will hold my hand up and I will take another foul.
He draws the foul.
Adam's going to have to come in and fill in for you.
No, when I have to fill in for the show, the chat, and everything else here.
I'm glad Kyle Mack picked up the Mitch Hedberg reference I dropped earlier.
What I was thinking of, what I had in my mind is, how like when you have the diced hash browns, they end up like little tiny, like little rectangles like that thin and that big.
Like they sell at McDonald's.
That's
the
no, not
hash
like
brown
not
patties?
the patty. No, like little like diced little tiny like cubes. That's what my mind was going to. I said tater tots because I couldn't think of what it was.
That sounds like a squared tater tot is what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like.
What is a fry other than a rectangular tater tot?
It's not, because the tater tot is like hash. Like it's hash. Like they O'Brien fries?
Sure. Okay, fine. That's fine.
You know what? I think we got to, for a food review, I think we got to send Frank to a taco shop to order a Cali B with hash browns and then report back to us. One, if they make it for you, and two, what it would taste like.
Well,
Nick Monte, Frank, please stop talking.
Well,
you keep digging yourself into a bigger hole.
Well, I'm out of the hospital. Doctor said my black eye should heal in a week.
A-bomb, he goes, bean and cheese with guac. That sounds gross. That's a Cali bean and cheese.
Okay.
I always get that one. The bean and cheese are for us white guys. But the thing is, you want to play it safe, you're going to get a bean and cheese. Like, you can play that safe other places. You get a Cali B outside of San Diego. I'm telling you, even outside of San Diego, you go to Orange County and have their Mexican food, it sucks.
First of all, Rod,
it sucks.
Thank you for coming to the defense. You didn't have to. And I know you probably did it as a helper, but you don't have to. And no.
Team money. We are in the double bonus.
Big,
two.
Big Chop. No, I do not know. Breakfast is for the hash brown patty. It's not for fries.
Some people like that. The whole spur of this conversation was like, you can't be putting the potatoes in a Cali B. And I'm telling you, the Orange County Mexican food is lousy. Mike, right? Played at Irvine. They would get Mexican food when they come down and play USD in San Diego State because they couldn't get good Mexican food in Orange County, in Irvine. It's right up the road. It's just, you go outside the parameters of San Diego, you're going to run into bad Mexican food, like a place like Pedro's Tacos that has fried chicken quesadillas. That's what you're rolling into, okay? That's what you're rolling into. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. We do got to take a break, but let's get to John and Carlsbad first. John, what's going on, man?
What's going on, Braden? So I'm born and raised native San Diegan, 58 years. I've probably had more carne asada and guacamole burritos at Roberto's at 2:30 a.m. than just about anybody who's ever lived in San Diego. And I got to tell you, man, to me, I don't think French fries belong in a burrito at all. That's my humble opinion for what it's worth.
All right. Fair enough. Guy doesn't like the Cali B's, but still respects the carne. He's more of a carne asada burrito guy. I mean, not quite having that debate. It's more of like what's in the Cali B, but
he's also just said born and raised in San Diego, 58 years. I was not. Okay.
You went to high school here in the South Bay. You should have some good Mexican food spots, bro.
I don't know things.
Home fries. Maybe that's what it is. We got to take a break. We're going to talk about Fernando when we come back. Unless you guys want to keep talking about Cali B's. Frank, we're in the double bonus right now, and it's the noon hour. Braden
I'm at
show.
3. Braden, you're at 1. Chat, I think, is pretty close to the Hosmer cameo.
We'll continue the conversation next. All guests on 97 to the Fan. Join us on the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys helping good people regain control of their future when charged with the crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. We are broadcasting live from the Bill Howe Studios. We know how. We do know how. Does Bill Howe know what's in a California burrito? Do we need to ask him?
Does Bill Howe know California burrito?
Nobody knows how to fix the plumbing after you have a California burrito. We know how. He loves the California burrito business. Guaranteed. The plumbing side of things. Phone line lit up like a Christmas tree when we hit the break. Well, we got a little bit of time here, and then we're going to talk about Fernando. 833-288-973, 833-288-973. Derek and La Mesa, how are the Cali Bees out there in East County, brother?
Brother, I know exactly what Frankie's talking about, dude. The diced up potatoes, get ready for it. O'Brien potatoes, and they have no business in the Cali.
Like I was asking out of pure curiosity. I didn't know. I wasn't trying to trigger anyone. I didn't know, and I was trying to learn.
Oh yeah, those are almost like home fries, dude.
Hey, Frank, I hear you, brother. I just, I heard the conversation with the diced up potatoes, and no one had it. So those are O'Brien's. Get that out of here. We don't eat O'Brien potatoes in Southern California. It's on the Cali. It's French fries or nothing. Love you guys. Love the show. Have a great day. We'll talk.
See you, Derek. French fries or nothing. I was about to ask Derek, are there any other types of potatoes that you could put in a Cali B? I say no. I'll bet you hash browns in the morning's probably good. That's a breakfast Cali. It's good stuff. Instead of carne asada, you do sausage and eggs. There you go.
That's more my speed. Honestly,
burrito.
I'm a breakfast guy.
This is the fault of Brad and Escondido for breaking us burritos today. Getting us on the burrito segment. Jared in Oceanside, you're the Braden Surprenant Show. What's going on, Jared?
Hey, Braden. I just wanted to toss a couple of things out there. I'm an Orange County transplant. I live in Fallbrook now. But there are some good Mexican restaurants up in Orange County. You just can't go looking for a Mexican restaurant. You got to look for a taqueria or a carniceria. If they're listed as a Mexican restaurant, it's going to be Taco Bell all day.
Or a Pup and Taco that don't exist anymore. Jared, appreciate the phone call. We had Drake Fries, which is ironic at this point now, at USD, Drake Fries. We did a segment with him on social media for USD. Walking poles of the Toreros, like walk from one side to the other. And I asked him about the Mexican food. He said that Orange County Mexican food is better. I'm like, no. And I said, well, what's your favorite place here? And he talked about I think he said Cafe Coyote in Old Town, which no disrespect to Cafe Coyote, but it's not a taco shop, Frank. You can't be judging on sit down places. Mitch.
No.
Mitch in Claremont, you're on the Braden Surprenant Show. What's going on?
What up, Braden? Hey, my buddy Alex, we grew up in Claremont, so we used to go to El Cotijan next to the DMV up in Claremont.
Oh, yeah.
He left Claremont 10 years ago. He opened up a taco shop in New York City. Now he has 2 locations called Electric Burrito, and he's the only dude to do a Cali B in New York City, and he sells out every day.
Oh, I bet he does that. As long as he does it SoCal style, he's probably making a killing over there.
He is. He was featured on Barstool recently, and he took the red sauce from El Cotijan and remade it, deconstructed it for his shop. But if you look it up on Instagram, it's Electric Burrito. It's real in New York City.
Ah, good to know. We appreciate the phone call, Mitch.
Might be somewhere we hit up if we go to Army Navy next year.
You know what? If I'm going to Army Navy next year, I'm not getting a burrito. No offense to his place. I want pizza in New York. I can't get that pizza. I can't get the pizza that they serve in New York here. I could get.
You cannot.
I could get people close. Long Island Mike's is pretty good.
See that you and I we
close.
can go strolling through New York too, since I know half of where the heck I'm going.
A place that Frank actually knows the direction he's supposed to be going in.
Yes,
it's the water. We know. Why are the bagels so good? It's the water.
It is.
They make the best bagels and the best pizza. Can't argue with that. Let's get to talk something more about that in a second. 833-288-973. 833-288-973. Oh, I got burned one time. So when I moved to Fort Worth for school, there was a sombreros there. There was a sombreros in Fort Worth. And I'm like, it looked just like the sombreros here. I'm like, we're golden. I went to sombreros. I found out that the lady that opened the sombreros in Fort Worth in the time was from Lakeside. I'm like, even better. We got a good shot here.
We're rolling now.
We're cooking. I got to try this place. It wasn't very good.
Yeah, no, and then you realize.
And then I realized that they didn't have the tortillas.
Then you realize that it's the Sbarros in the Plaza Bonito Mall.
Well, it was they basically got store-bought tortillas, like the Mission tortillas, like the fake ones.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they put all their food in. It wasn't like the authentic homemade tortillas or like the taco shops, it's all about the tortilla. If you could put basically anything in those tortillas and it'll taste good. I said what I said. I said basically anything in a tortilla like that and it'll taste good. You can't be using the store-bought Mission tortillas. It's just not going to work.
No, I mean, I do at home, but
but you're at your house.
Exactly. Yeah, but for a restaurant,
I make
you can't
homemade
do
tortillas, and it takes a decent amount of time, and so I gotta, you gotta get the right kind if you're gonna buy some. So, but when you're at the taco shop, what I don't want to have?
That's got to be fresh.
The generic flour tortilla that you get at Vons. I don't know. I don't want that wrapped around a Cali B in the proper ingredients, which we have now determined is carne asada, cheese, guac, fries. No hash browns. O'Brien potatoes. The O'Brien potatoes. Derek was pretty adamant about that. All right.
Yeah.
We've talked enough about Mexican food. When we come back, Fernando Tatis Jr., what he said at Fan Fest and why he is going to have a big year. There was an article on that on MLB.com. We'll take a deeper dive when we come back. Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Blink-182 is singing about our burrito conversation's over. That's what it is. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. This is the Braden Surprenant Show, live and local each every day from 10 to 2 on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. In about 20 minutes, we're going to announce today's biggest fan. Also in 20 minutes, it will be the 1 o'clock hour. And in the 1 o'clock hour, we are giving away Aztec basketball tickets for their next home game, which will be tomorrow against Wyoming. Lots of giveaways potentially in the 1 o'clock hour. Coming up later this segment, we would like to play the Midday Sports Standoff. If you call in and take me down in sports trivia, you will be entered in a chance to win our grand prize. 2 tickets to Sammy Hagar. They'll be live at Park MGM. 2 nights stay at Park MGM Las Vegas. And a $100 gas card. Sammy Hagar returns to Las Vegas with his best of all worlds Las Vegas residency. Get ready to rock with your favorite hits for the Van Halen years, Sammy Soul hits, and more only in Las Vegas this March 11th to the 21st and 18th to the 26th at Dolby Live at Park MGM. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973 to join the Midday Sports Standoff. Okay. We got the sound from Fernando ready to go. They also had an article, it was interesting, on MLB.com, and we're going to take a deeper dive into this with, could 2026 mark the start of Tatis's greatest era? Travis Sawchik wrote this for MLB.com. And honestly, based on what Fernando says here and some stuff laid out by Travis, you're about to see probably, maybe, the best kind of couple years in Fernando's career, especially in a Padres uniform. Here's what Fernando had to say at Fan Fest when talking about last year, what's behind him, and what he's looking forward to in the future.
When you look back on last season, Fernando, what do you think some of the struggles were offensively for you?
Mechanical, more than anything else, but it was actually more about trusting a process that it was going in there, and that I wish I can go into more details, but I definitely feel that's definitely behind us, and I know this year on the offensive side is going to be really special.
You said, I believe it was last year, that when your head's in the right place, you're second to none on the baseball field. Is your head in the right place this year?
It is, and looking forward to keep growing as a player and as a man. And like I said, my best years are definitely ahead of me, and this year is going to be one of those. But there's no limit, and now is due to myself to show you guys that.
I think Fernando's about to have a big year. It's interesting to see what could be with Fernando. I mean, again, he's still like just entering the prime of his career. And there's a lot of numbers that actually back up what Fernando is talking about that we're going to discuss in just a little bit. Because where he is at, where he was at, and where he's progressing to, on top of the fact that he has elevated his game in the little things, is going to show and pay dividends in terms of his overall career production. And it was laid out earlier today in an article by Travis Sawchik on on MLB.com. If you want to read, it's a front page article today. In the 1 o'clock hour, we're going to dive into the numbers. But where he started, the trials and tribulations he went through, whether it was self-imposed or not, what derailed his trajectory, and the data in recent years that tells a different story than what his actual stats were, especially talking about last year, and where he quietly improved everywhere else last year, how all of that put together is going to lead to a big 2026. We're going to talk about that in the 1 o'clock hour, but we do want to get to today's Midday Sports Standoff.
Welcome to Midday Sports Standoff on the Braden Surprenant Show.
I can't believe what I'm seeing right now.
The ultimate head-to-head battle where sports knowledge and quick thinking collide.
It's no good. Are you kidding me, Mr.
Contestants will go toe-to-toe with Braden in a sports trivia deal where every correct answer brings them closer to victory.
Down the sideline! Wow! Unbelievable!
But 3 strikes and it's game over.
This is not Detroit, man. This is the Super Bowl.
Can you outsmart Braden? The midday sports standoff starts now.
All right, Frank, who we got playing today?
We have Scott in Rancho Bernardo playing today. Scott, how are you?
Fantastic, brother. Brad from Escondido.
Oh, very good. Very, very
Tell
nice.
your brother thank you for the burritos again.
Yes.
That was great.
Yeah, he told me he brought those in. Yeah.
So
he's a good man.
Yes, he very much so is. Today's topic, again, we're staying with baseball. This is a video I saw last night that I thought was pretty fun. Who are the top 10 poorest owners in Major League Baseball based off of Forbes net worth?
Oh, rough.
Oh, it's not. So, again, if you don't know the owner's name, that's fine. Just give me the team.
The teams that are
the team is
Okay.
fine. The teams with the 10 poorest owners based off of Forbes net worth. Scott, you ready to go?
Yeah, so it doesn't mean necessarily they could have a lot of money, just don't spend it on the team, right?
Yeah. Could mean
Okay.
just that. All right. So,
All right,
Scott,
well, I'm going to go with Pittsburgh Pirates owner.
Number 1.
That's
Was he number one or no?
No, he was not number 1. He was actually number 5.
Oh.
The Pittsburgh Pirates owner is worth $1.1 billion. And he is number 5 on this list.
Smitty Werdeman Jensen was the number 1.
Yes, Smitty Werbenjagerman Jensen was number 1.
Smitty Werdeman Jensen.
That's
He was number 1, Frank.
Yes, he was.
He was number 1. All right, so he was 5 on the list.
He was number
Pirates,
5 on the
okay.
list at $1.1 billion net worth.
Whoever owns the Reds, I heard them complaining that they didn't. What it's worth is how much the Dodgers are spending.
The Reds owner is worth $400 million. Scott.
That's less than a lot of contracts
Yes,
right now.
it
being
is.
handed out.
I'm going to go Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay is number 9 on this list.
Wow.
They are the owner is worth $1.4 billion.
All right. Would you say where was the Reds guy?
The Reds was
Our family owner.
Number 1.
He was number 1.
He was number
with
1.
Smitty Werdeman Jensen.
Yes.
Okay. I would go with the what's his name? Fisher with the A's.
Steve Fisher is
no,
not
he's worth
on
a lot
this
of money.
list.
Is his name Steve?
Oh, the John Fisher. The A's.
Steve, I was
the
gonna
A's
say,
owner.
Steve Fisher shouldn't be on the
The
list as a
A's
basketball
owner.
coach.
The A's owner is not on this list. No. Scott.
Kansas City.
Kansas City Royals are number 8 on this list. Scott's building out a lead here. The Royals owner is worth $1.25 billion.
I feel like the Rockies have some money on there, but what are the small markets out there in baseball? Well, the Braves aren't owned by anybody. They're a publicly traded company.
Going by, I mean, you can trust your gut, I would say, based off of your first instinct there.
Yeah, Dick Monfort.
$700 million.
Is he second?
He is 3rd on the list. Scott.
What team was that?
The Rockies.
The Rockies, okay. I'm going to go Twins.
No, the Twins owner is not on this list.
Really? Miami.
And Braden's clawed it back. It's 3-3. Miami, the owner of the Marlins, is worth $500 million. So, Braden, you've got the first 3. You got the 3 poorest. Then there's Scott's got 3 as well.
All right. I'm going to go Brewers.
The Brewers owner is the last one worth under $1 billion. He is worth $700 million as well. So everyone here is worth between 1.1 and 1.6 billion dollars to put you in a money range.
Okay. Where else?
I'll go ahead.
How many do we? So who do we have so far?
The Reds,
three left, right?
The Reds, Marlins, Rockies, Brewers, Pirates, Royals, and Rays have been taken. There are 2 left in the American League and 1 in the National League.
2 in the American League. American League teams. It's not Artie Moreno. I'll tell you that. Let's see. It's got to be somebody like the American League Central. Jerry Reinsdorf owns 2 teams, though. Oh, what about Cleveland? Really?
Cleveland owner is worth more than $1.6 billion. Scott, if you get this right, you're going to tie, which means you'll be qualified.
I'm win. All right. I think for some reason it's not the Anheuser-Busch that owns Cardinals in here. I'm going to go Cardinals.
No, 2 strikes apiece. Would you like me to narrow it down further?
Sure. Why not?
Oh, come on now.
Okay. Well, no, you still have a chance. You're still in the driver's seat here.
Yeah, because we tie, you win.
Braden, narrow down for me.
Well, you're on the call too.
Okay. But it's his turn though.
American League West, American League East, National League West. Those are the 3 remaining divisions.
Arizona.
Correct. So there's the National League.
Arizona earlier, but it has
there's
to be them.
The National League team gone. So now there are 2 in the American League, Scott. If you get one of these right, you're tied, which means you win. So AL West and AL East.
I think I know one of them.
Baltimore.
That's the one I thought.
No,
Baltimore.
It is not. Scott, that's three strikes, Scott, but Braden's on 2 here. If he gets a 3rd strike, I'll let you go again.
It's not Baltimore?
Right. No, it's not Baltimore.
It's not. That means it's either the Yankees or the Red Sox, which makes no sense. American League West, it's not Texas. They're loaded.
Again, we're going the top 10 poorest owners in Major League Baseball. Is the question today.
The Astros.
Well, we're in sudden death. You've both got 3 strikes here. So the next one who gets it right. Go ahead, Scott.
I got to guess Seattle then.
I thought we already guessed Seattle.
No, you did not guess Seattle already. No, he did not.
Oh, I thought we already guessed Seattle.
Nope.
I was
so
like, if it's not Seattle, it's got to be Houston.
Is there. So congratulations, Scott. You're officially qualified. I know our...
Is it the Red Sox?
Our trip changed. Hal Steinbrenner on his own is worth $1.6 billion. The
Yankees.
Steinbrenner family as a group, as a collective, is worth $3.3 billion. But Hal Steinbrenner, who is the main controlling arm for the Yankees.
Yeah, but is he the only controlling arm for the Yankees?
Yes.
So he 100% owns the team and the family doesn't.
He is worth $1.6 billion.
The Yankees.
So the Yankees have the 10th poorest owner in Major League Baseball.
Go Aztecs. Another Frank asterisk.
No, it's not an asterisk. It's true. It's if you go on Forbes and if you look at Hal Steinbrenner's, I went and I even double checked during the show today. Yes, Hal Steinbrenner, if you look at Forbes, is only worth $1.6 billion.
But our guy Adam, who's a Yankees fan, said it's not the Yankees.
It is the Yankees.
Oh, he says you're wrong.
That's cool.
Hal Steinbrenner is one of the poorest owners in Major League Baseball.
Yes.
I don't believe that.
That he is. He's worth $1.6 billion.
And his family is technically worth.
The Steinbrenner family is what is the majority, is the wealth.
Who owns the team?
Hal Steinbrenner owns the team. It was given to him.
So none of the other Steinbrenners have any.
As far as I know, no.
Well, because if the valuation is in the Steinbrenner family, then they get the boost for being part owners of the Yankees. How is he only worth 1 point? Because all he owns is the Yankees?
I guess so.
How much are the Yankees worth?
The Yankees are worth a lot.
Well, how does your net worth less than the team that you own?
I don't know how Forbes calculated. The Yankees are worth $8.2 billion.
Yeah, if he owns the Yankees.
The Yankees,
that is
I
an
don't
asset
know.
that counts towards his deal.
This is off of Forbes. Again, this is off of Forbes. I don't know how Forbes calculated it.
Which Forbes list is this? The guy that
We're going to stop doing the gimmicks now.
The guy that owns the team that's worth $8.2 billion is only worth 1 point something billion dollars. It's not possible. Like, net worth is about things you own, not liquid assets.
I'm going off of what I saw.
Frank saw that the Yankees owner might be poverty, and then he had to make us do this as a question.
No, that was not the motivation behind it. It's a fun.
Was it from Forbes or ChatGPT?
It's a fun twist to it, but that wasn't the motivation behind it.
Ownership. The Steinbrenner family has owned the team, not just him. He's the. Never mind.
Hey, it's Chris Ello from Gwen and Chris, and if you like sports, we got you. If you like random banter about life, we got you. We'll talk about it all, 2 to 6 p.m. weekdays on 97.3 The Fan.
Bet tonight that I'll have more hits than you.
Let's do it right now.
How much you want to bet?
We'll do $5.
Oh, God.
Oh, it hits well in the air. Oh, sick, dude. What a great leadoff. What a great leadoff.
Yeah. You want to be mic'd up?
Oh. No, Rick. There's the Joel we know. Well, you're lucky I'm a huge target at first, dude.
No one gassed.
Shell's got to get us in, though. We're screwed next at bat. That's not great.
Zion. Are you? That is the saddest thing. Are you insane? That is sad. No confidence.
You better get a hit now.
It's like Moneyball. He's got no confidence. Ugly girlfriend.
Come on, Sam.
Oh, hose him.
Oh, we got it. Can we get a first baseman that can catch? One time, Matt. Nice. All right.
Glasses on too. That's why.
Oh, damn it. Can we score some runs? Play first base. All of a sudden, it's locked down.
Who bats after Q?
I think it's the other team.
Go!
Go! Go! Show Braden how to run home. Oh, damn it. Got onto that bat. Hey, the sprint suck. Come on, Cello.
You can play Cello.
Oh, look at the throw.
Oh my God.
Oh, pick me, dude. You can't see it. It sucks. I can't see anything. Oh, I crawled back. Hey, did you ask him to buy you a beer after that? Hey, got us beer, dude. He does. Dude, yeah, Ethan, seriously, dude.
I know. Hey, Ethan, sit next one. You don't boo nobodies. That's what I'm hearing.
Get out of here. Get out of here. Nice ball, Matt. Nice job.
I'm the best.
Hey, good job. Hey, we won. Nice job. Good job.
Good game. Good game, guys. Good game.
Let that big guy's going.
Good game. Where do you want me to sign, sir?
Like where you're always. He'll set the Fox.
No, nobody makes me sign. But I'll whatever you need for your kids or whatever, like sign ball or anything. Let me know.
You're all over it.
Flash One Network for details. As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
As the owner, coach, and quarterback of your small business, you call the shots. From inventory to payroll and more. Now it's time to bring in LendSeek, your funding MVP. No delay of game here. Get up to $2 million in as fast as 24 hours for business lines of credit or term loans. Let LendSeek's AI marketplace assist you in making the winning play and score that touchdown. Apply at lendseek.com, LENDSEEK.com.
MVP contender Drake May and Sam Darnold will make their first Super Bowl appearances in Super Bowl 60 in Santa Clara. 97.3 The Fan will have all of the festivities beginning at 10 a.m. on Super Bowl Sunday. The NFL plays here on 97.3 The Fan.
KWFN and KW. Play here on San Diego's #1 sports station. 97.3 The
I agree with Go Aztecs in the YouTube chat. In the Twitch chat, he's the only one that watches on Twitch. I'm starting to think the midday stand-up is a bit like the sarcastic hour.
No, it's not. Thanks. So no. Okay. So
all right. So here's what it was.
Yeah.
It's
So
the
here's how we
controlling
got
person.
there. Yeah. So here's
It's whoever the control person is, what their net worth is. Since Hal Steinbrenner is the controlling person of the Yankees, he's the only one that counts. He only owns a small portion of the Yankees.
He was given
the
a quarter.
Steinbrenner family owns the Yankees.
Yeah. Okay. So my explanation was wrong. So what happened was Hal Steinbrenner is the controlling arm of the Yankees. When George passed away in 2010, he gave a quarter of the team to each of his kids.
Correct. So they all own the team.
Yeah. So they all own the team. But because Hal is the controlling arm of the team, his $1.6 billion, which is the quarter of the 8.2 that was divvied out, that's why his net worth is $1.6 million. It's a quarter of the Yankees.
So who's the control person of the Braves?
Let's see, who's the controlling arm of the Braves?
It's a company that owns them. They're a publicly traded company. That's why all their stuff's on the books. You can buy stock into their company. It's the same thing with the Guggenheim family and stuff, like the Guggenheim Group or whatever. All these other entities have these companies that run it.
The Atlanta Braves, as I'm reading now, the Atlanta Braves are owned by the Atlanta Braves Holdings Incorporated.
Correct.
A publicly traded company that split from Liberty Media in 2023. Terry McGurk, McGurk, serves as the chairman and controlling person managing day-to-day operations, while Alex Anthopoulos runs baseball operations. So Terry would be the controlling arm.
He'd be the controlling arm.
Yes. He is the chairperson. He is the head of the company that owns he's the head of the company that owns the team.
Is he Terry McGurk? Yeah,
Yes.
he is. What is his? I'm seeing here his net worth is $21 million. Interesting.
Okay. No more game. There you go. See how that works? No more game. You have.
It's sponsored now. You have to do the game. Unfortunately,
No, the game's not sponsored. The sports thread is.
Yeah, but there's a prize for it that we get.
We could do a
from
new
the
game.
So that's the game.
We could do a new game.
That's the game.
Atlanta Braves Holdings, by the way, anyone interested in owning a piece of the Atlanta Braves,
what's it trading for right now?
To crumble them from the inside is BATRA. For anyone who's interested in looking up.
Okay. I'm surprised you haven't done that yet. You can go to the meetings and stuff when they talk about the team. And
see, here's the thing. You need to have money in order to do that stuff.
You can buy small shares. What's it trading for right now?
Let me take a look.
What are the Atlanta Braves trading for right now?
Yeah, let's see.
Before we get to the time, while Frank's looking that up, it is time to get to our biggest fan of the day.
And say if somebody says like a left fielder, I'm gonna lose it.
Congratulations to his biggest fan, Richard Cesena in Lakeside. Give us a call in the next 10 minutes at 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973, and you'll qualify for our grand prize. 20 tickets for you and your friends for our night in our Odyssey suite at a Padres game with all the fan staff later this season, catered by Spiro's Mediterranean Cuisine. Remember to register your name at 97through-the-fantasy.com/biggest fan. Richard Cesena, Cecena.
Not to give
you got 10 minutes.
Not to give our boss any ideas.
Yeah.
Atlanta Braves Holdings Incorporated, Series A, currently stands on the NASDAQ at $44.28 a share.
Sounds like you can buy a share.
It sounds like I could.
I told you, it's probably not a lot.
So what happens is I skip out on MLB The Show this year, and instead of buying like 5 copies of MLB The Show, I buy 5% of the Braves.
Hang on a second. Why would you buy multiple copies?
Well, no, I'm just saying I'm rationalizing it I'm doing guy math here.
You know how one of my buddies used to determine whether or not something had value? Compare the price to Jack in the Box tacos.
I mean, hey,
that's
guy math right there.
You can either have a share of the Atlanta Braves, Frank, or you can have 88 Jack in the Box tacos. What would you rather have? And then if your answer was the 88 Jack in the Box tacos, then it'd be
you don't buy the thing.
Buy the thing. Yeah. That was back when 2 tacos at Jack in the Box were 99 cents.
That is called pure buy math. That is called pure guy math, is what that is.
Buy math.
Yeah.
Nice. Well done. I'm still surprised. I thought for sure somebody said Seattle.
I'm not buying 5 copies of the game. I'm just saying, like, instead of doing that, I could buy 5 shares of the Braves, or 5 games. We'll just say.
And then you can say I'm Frank Marchese from the Braves.
Yeah,
We're on to something here. I like this. Then, when you go to register your time to help at the Train Museum, just be like, I am co-owner of the Braves.
Well, exactly.
With a lot of other people.
I am co-owner of the Braves. I can say that when I'm doing their stringer work this year. I can say I co-own this team. Let me in the clubhouse now.
Do you know who I am? Yeah. And then show your Robinhood portfolio.
Brother, I don't even know who I am. So let's.
Right. My badge says Frank Marchese. I don't know if that's correct or not.
Would I be able to cover the Padres, since that would be kind of a conflict of interest
as an owner of the team? I don't know. Tom Brady gets away with a lot of stuff like that.
That is true too. But here's the big major thing: my name does not carry the cachet of Tom Brady.
No, not in this world. No, definitely not. It might for an MTS agent now, after knowing that you want to go drive the trolleys around.
That is a major flaw in the plan.
Your new LinkedIn profile would be great. Driver of trains, owner of the Braves.
Yeah. Driver of random trains, owner of Atlanta Braves, coverer of the San Diego Padres.
And I come up with weird games on the Midday Sports Stand-Up. Hey, full circle. And I put tater tots in my California birthday. I'm Frank. I'm Frank? ? All right, let's talk about Fernando. By the way, your boy called in. Our biggest fan called in. That's great. Congratulations, Richard, for calling in. Thank you very much. Let's talk about Fernando for a second. So he had his little thing on Saturday, and he talked about like how things are behind him and he's moving forward and, where he feels as a player right now. And it's interesting because on MLB.com, on the main page, and I don't know if this has been updated since, but this morning, the big story on MLB.com was a piece written by Travis Sawchik about could 2026 mark the start of Fernando Tatis Jr.'s greatest era. He lays out a lot of different things here, and I think it's very interesting, and it's worth a deeper dive into what could be coming for Fernando in 2026. Fernando, really good. He's a really good player. I would say some people would say great player. I would consider him a great player. But he just hasn't been that guy yet. Fernando Tatis Jr., already one of the most accomplished players of his generation through 6 MLB seasons. He has a 137 career weighted runs created plus. That's being on a scale of anything over 100 is better than an average player. He's got a 5.4 Fangraphs WAR per 600 plate appearances. He has 2 Gold Gloves. He has 2 Silver Sluggers, and he's entering his age 27 season. On paper, that's pretty elite company. But emotionally, contextually, it does feel like something is missing for Fernando. And this is what Travis pointed out. The expectations problem. Tatis didn't just arrive at Major League Baseball. He detonated. He exploded all over Major League Baseball. I mean, that first game, everything in that first season in 2019, you got to see what was a phenomenal player from day one. He posted near 100th percentile StatCast numbers, averaged 95 plus miles an hour on his exit velo. He hit 42 homers, had 25 steals, and he was looking like a Shohei Ohtani offensive force, yet hasn't been able to return to that player yet. What derailed the trajectory? Well, you can go through the history of Fernando and, left shoulder dislocation that lingered all season. In early of 2021, he had surgery in September of 2022, missed all of 2022 due to surgery, wrist fracture, and a PED suspension, and a cloud of skepticism followed. Since then, Tatis has been very good, but not transcendent as he was in his rookie year. But that being said, because we've heard people talk about this a lot, we've heard people like, well, since he stopped, taking performance enhancers, he has been the same. I disagree with that, and so does the data. His exit velocity and his bat speed. When we talk about players, and we talk about players in Major League Baseball that still have the juice, that still have that ability to really contribute at a high level when they are aging and getting older. Now, this doesn't pertain to Fernando as much as it does like a Xander Bogaerts, right, Frank? We talk about this all the time with exit velocity and bat speed. We saw the exit velo and bat speed at the beginning of last season and said, this is going to get turned around. And sure enough, it did.
Yeah.
Let's look at Fernando's exit velo and bat speed. In 2020, he had a 95.9 mile an hour average exit velocity, which is best ever at the time. In 2023, that dropped down to 91.9, which was the 89th percentile. In 2024, it jumped back up to 93.5 miles an hour. And last year, his bat speed climbed into the 86th percentile. It shows that the raw tools are back. But then came the weird part. Despite his best underlying metrics since surgery, Fernando Tatis Jr. last year posted a career low slugging of 446. He had his lowest ISO of his career, and he failed again to clear 25 home runs. Well, why is that? Well, Travis Sawchik took a deep dive into this. And he talked about how Fernando last year had a historically bad, quote, sweet spot luck. He was in the 4th percentile in sweet spot rate in 2025. His actual slugging, 42 points below expected, and one of Major League Baseball's unluckiest hitters. Important note to this: sweet spot rate is not sticky year to year. Regression is coming. Even his career average in that stat, 37th percentile, suggests automatic improvement is likely based on last season. The sweet spot luck. He had a very unlucky year in 2025 when it came to hitting the sweet spot of his bat. 4th percentile in Major League Baseball. That is awful. And this is not a stat, Frank, that is a metric stat of how fast you're swinging, what your exit velo is. This is just being able to square the ball up.
Yeah.
And he had been just missing the entire season. And for a player like him, that is very much an anomaly more than it is a common occurrence. And just based on averages and luck and regressing back to what his usual percentile spot is, which is the 37th percentile, you would expect those numbers to jump starting in 2026. I believe that when looking at the numbers that were laid out by Travis in this article from MLB.com. I think his mindset's right. I think he said all the right things. And I think with a little bit of luck, he's going to get his slugging back up. He's going to get the home run numbers back up. He's going to get a lot of those metrics back to full force. And I think that sets up for a big season, Frank.
Yeah, we also discussed a lot about it on Saturday, and we also discussed with AJ Preller and his contract extension. When do you do that? You do that when he's not working and when he's got less distractions. Fernando also had a lot of distractions off the field last year, which, again, you could say leave it at the door all you want. That stuff is going to linger. It's very hard to do that kind of stuff. And if you're thinking about anything other than hitting that ball while you're up at the plate, you're going to be just that little bit off. And that's what Fernando looked all season long. He just looked, except for when it came to the field, except for when it came to robbing a home run, he just looked a little bit off all season long. So yeah, if you look at everything that's gone wrong for him and that went downhill for him last year, it's all the anomaly stats. It's all of the things that's like, yeah, this means absolutely nothing as far as his productivity goes.
Do me a favor. Pull up his StatCast page and share it on the screen with us.
Okay.
And while you're working on that, I'll start going through it. And there's some other numbers too. There's some other numbers that I think are going to add to Fernando being a phenomenal player
StatCast
this
or
year.
Baseball Savant?
That's the same thing.
Okay.
His StatCast numbers are on Baseball Savant. So yeah, go to Baseball Savant, go to his Baseball Savant page, the 2025 page, where it sees all his numbers and stuff. I have it on my phone. But just to show everybody on YouTube exactly where we're at here, this guy is dominant in every single statistical category in terms of these metric numbers on Baseball Savant. Batting run value, baseball run value, fielding run value. All of his values are in the 90 percentile or better. 92nd percentile, 93rd percentile, 92nd percentile. You go to his expected weighted on-base average, 91st percentile. You go to his expected batting average, 85th percentile. You go to expected slugging, 84th percentile. You go to his average exit velocity, 95 percentile in Major League Baseball. He was at 93.3 miles an hour on his average exit velo last year. You look at his barrel percentage, it was okay, not great, 66th percentile. You look at his hard hit percentage, 93rd percentile. Bat speed is in the red above 50 at 77. Squared up percentage, 69. Chase percentage, 73. Strikeout percentage, 66. Walk percentage, 90. All of his fielding metrics through the roof, his sprint speeds through the roof. And then you look right there in the middle of that entire graph, and you see a little baby 4. And what is that, Frank?
Launch angle sweet spot percentage.
That
I'm
is
assuming that's what LA stands for, launch angle.
That is his historically bad sweet spot luck. How does a player in Major League Baseball be in the 80-something percentile or higher for every single metric with the exception of whiff is at 31%?
Yes.
Whatever, the guy takes axe. How can a player be that level yet have a sweet spot metric of 4%? I mean, go click through and let's just watch the sweet spot numbers on Fernando. You just hit the play button in the top right corner and you'll start seeing it. Look how different it is.
41, 38
in 2020, 2021,
44, 41, sorry. 22 in 23, so that took a little bit of a dip, and then 42 in 2024, and then
4. 30-something, 30-something, 40-something, 40-something, 20-something, 40-something, 4. That is unlucky. You can't tell me otherwise. I mean, that is something that is incredibly unlucky. And so talk about the way Fernando played last year. You can talk about how he's like he can't hit the home run anymore. I was like, if you're not squaring up the ball and you're not hitting the sweet spot of the bat, yeah, you're not going to put up the same big numbers as we're used to seeing. But everything else has been exceptional, Fernando. I think a lot of that is behind him, and I agree with what he had to say on Saturday. I mean, you could say everything you want about talk is cheap and whatnot, but you look at those numbers, and you look at his metrics, and the sweet spot portion of this, where he's just missing the ball, is a big factor. And just by a regression back to the mean, and that could be, in this case, going back up to the mean, he is going to drastically improve just based on math than anything else. But there's something else that I want to mention about Fernando, about the other portions of his game that he quietly improved that's going to make him an even better player than he already is. It was laid out in the article today by Travis Sawchik, and we're going to take a deeper dive into these numbers that are going to show you that Fernando's going to have a big 2026. We'll talk about it when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's number sports station 97 through the Fan. As we go to break for the final break of the show, we're going to give away Aztec tickets to the game tomorrow against Wyoming.
Very generous of you.
It is very generous. We just need a trivia question for it. So we're going to have to put that together for a little bit. But anyway, we'll figure out something before the end of the deal. Oh, you know what? I have one.
Guess we don't need to.
I have one about Wyoming. When it comes to their history. No, it's not Josh Allen. He's not the answer. But there is a notable alumni that went to Wyoming that played for the San Diego Chargers for a long period of time here in San Diego.
Don't call in yet. He hasn't officially asked the question.
I have
I'm
not
answering. I'm not picking it up.
I have not. Anyway, let's go back to Fernando for a second. Okay, Fernando Tatis Jr. We talked about this article that was written about him. It's on the front page of MLB.com. The sweet spot luck was not in his favor. That is something that is naturally just going to make him better because it is more likely than not he's going to have higher than a 4% sweet spot percentage than lower or the same based on his average sweet spot percentage, right?
Mm-hmm.
On average, he's been around like 30-something percentile on the sweet spot percentage. Last year was 4. So just based on regressing back to the mean, he should have a better year. But here's the other reason why. In the process of him not getting the results and still putting in all the metrics to get those results, he quietly improved everywhere else. Career low strikeout rate. Career low strikeout rate last year, 18.7%. Career high walk rate, 12.9%. Lowest chase rate of his career. Still elite on the base pass with 32 steals, and still, as we mentioned before, with his defense, a Gold Glove caliber right field defensive player. He is getting better in the other categories, the other areas that he was in the past not as great, right? How many times in his career did we watch Fernando swing out of his shoes and punch out and high strikeouts? You got to be able to manage that. Last year, as a leadoff guy, he was patient. He learned the strike zone. He found ways to get on base. Now, I thought the fact that Luis Arráez batting behind him didn't really help him at all as being a leadoff guy. I still rather bat Tatis leadoff. I know he hits solo home runs, but you know what? He needs to come up as many times as possible, and he's dynamic everywhere else. And now he has proven that he can find ways to get on base. And when guys make mistakes, he's going to hunt them and be on top of them. But I think if you look at everything that we have laid out with Fernando Tatis Jr., with how we had bad luck last year in terms of sweet spot percentage, but all his other metrics were incredibly high and back to what they were before he got hurt, and looking at the other areas of his game that he needed to improve on where he massively improved on last year, this is going to be, I think, a big year for Fernando Tatis Jr. I think it's going to be a breakout type year for the young right fielder. And this is the time. These next 4 to 5 years, this is what you paid the big contract for. These 4 to 5 years when he's 26, 27, 28, 29, 30 years old, maybe even to 32. From the 6 years between when he's 26 years old to 32 years old, that is the time frame that you want to be able to compete with this guy in his prime. This is what you gave the money for, these years. And I think everything's lining up, Frank, for this to be a banner year for Fernando Tatis Jr.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, he sounds like he's got a lot less weight on his shoulders. When you heard him talk yesterday, he sounds more calm. He sounds more ready to go. He sounds more like what we're used to hearing Fernando sound like. And I think if you see him come into spring training with that little bit of swagger, he's feeling more like his normal self. I think that gives you great reason to believe that Fernando is going to be his normal self, the self that landed him that massive contract that he got as young as he was when he got it.
I think so too. I think we talked about the biggest additions that you can make in this offseason being your stars being stars. You spent the money. That's what they need. They need the guys like Fernando Tatis Jr. to have a good year, and Jackson Merrill, and Manny Machado, and Xander Bogaerts. In reality, it's those four, and then it's Jake Cronenworth. Those are the guys that have to have the big years for this Padres team to be very successful. And I continue to say it as I look at this team and as I look at the roster with these players playing at a high level, and nothing's guaranteed. And I guess, obviously you're not getting the, Manny Machado prime year. You're not getting the Xander Bogaerts prime year. They're still in their athletic prime, but they're on the tail, like the back half of that prime, I would say. So limited to a certain extent, but not really. These are the guys that are going to carry this team on the offensive side of things. And I like the pitching staff that they built around it. Now, they could use another starting pitcher here and there. Probably at least one more, Frank. But the bullpen's legit. And they have the lineup to be able to compete for a playoff spot in 2026. And I think it's going to be headlined by a Fernando Tatis Jr. MVP level season. I really do. And I think it was pointed out great today on MLB.com. And I'm believing what they're putting down on this sweet spot luck when it comes to the metrics, because his EV is high, his exit velo, his swing speed is high, all of his other stuff is through the roof. If those were not, I would be more concerned. I feel like we're having the same conversation we had about Xander Bogaerts in the beginning part of the season last year.
Yeah, it's the stats that you look at to see why someone had a bad year. That's really it. It's a down year for Fernando. And when you take everything into account, it does. And you could also say he's gotten so much better on defense and all that. Maybe he took a little bit too much focus away from his offense and put it towards defense, because he was unbelievable defensively last year. And just think, you had Fernando not really himself last year, especially at the plate. You had Luis Arráez start off, 0 for 21 is what he started the year off with. Xander Bogaerts really only had about half a season where he was contributing on an everyday basis. Jackson Merrill had a couple of sophomore slumps, a very start-stop year for him because of all the injuries. Manny Machado was great in the first half and then kind of fell off a little bit. All of those issues with all of those big-name anchor players, and you still won 90 games. So if you have one of those guys turn that season around, there's no doubt that you're going to make a deep run in the playoffs. You just need one of them to turn it around. You won 90 games. You made the playoffs last year with all of that stuff that went wrong. You just need one of those guys to figure it out and make it go right. And you're even better than you were last year.
And I think Fernando's going to have a big season as laid out. And I think he's got the right mindset. Now he's got to go out there and do it. And hopefully he improves on the sweet spot percentage. But based on where his numbers are for that historically, I would imagine that's going to improve. We got some movement potentially in Major League Baseball. We will let you know what that trade is when we come back. But we do got to get to today's trivia question. What else?
I was just going to say really quick, Padres over everyone. Is he unlucky, or is the defense putting a different shift on him? No, the defense and where the defense is placed
doesn't affect the sweet spot.
Yeah, it doesn't affect how the ball is hitting his bat.
All right. I even got somebody to text me the answer already. So
they're not winning. They have to call in.
Somebody was thinking about it already. I don't think he wants to call in and win the tickets. He's a media member. So the question is, since the Aztecs play the Wyoming Cowboys tomorrow, what former San Diego Charger wide receiver who wore the number 80 went to the University of Wyoming? First one to call in and answer that question will win tickets to tomorrow night's Aztec game against Wyoming. If you're interested in attending the game, you can go to goaztecs.com to get your tickets for tomorrow night game. It will be an 8 o'clock tip-off at Viejas Arena. Who is the San Diego Charger receiver who wore number 80, who starred at Wyoming before he became a Charger? We'll get your answer when we come back. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Plus, a trade has happened in Major League Baseball. We'll update you on where a second baseman might be headed when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97 through the Fan. There's a look at some of them. We're going to have Frank kind of walk around as I kind of go through what some of these promotional items are. But the Padres today announced their 2026 promotional schedule, including giveaways, theme games, and events. Every homestand, you can get single game tickets for the 2026 regular season home games on sale on Tuesday, February 3rd. So you got to still wait until next Tuesday at 10 in the morning Pacific time by visiting www.padres.com. Season ticket members have priority access to tickets and enjoy the best available seats. Season ticket memberships have sold out for the fourth consecutive season due to franchise record demand, and therefore all remaining tickets for the 2026 season are available on a single game basis. So these will be, you could buy tickets starting on February 3rd. There are 15 all-fan giveaways planned for the 2026, highlighted by fan favorites such as high-quality wearable, stylish hats, and bobbleheads, all of which take place during select home games throughout the season, limited to the first 40,000 fans in attendance. There are 3 different styles of hats this year, and there's a bunch of other stuff. We're going to get to that, but we'll just kind of go through the beginning of the season to the end. And see if you can follow along here, Frank, with what we got. But the first giveaway will be on Friday, March 27th. That's the day after opening day. That's the Tony Gwynn opening day. There's going to be an opening series scarf presented by Sequan Casino Resort. Start season in style with a cozy Padres opening series scarf, which looks nice. It's great. Nice little scarf. At the beginning games, the early games at Petco Park are usually kind of chilly. But that's a good-looking scarf right there. So that will be against the Tigers on Friday, March 27th. On Monday, March 30th, this one's super cool. On Monday, March 30th, they have the night. I'm a sucker for 1998 stuff. They have a 1998 belt bag, which is perfect for it's a bag that you could bring into the ballpark, which is awesome. I know my mom's got a bag like that. My girlfriend's got a bag like that. There's a lot of different. My sister's got a bag like that, and a lot of people use them to get in the stadiums, but now you can have a Padres one, which is great. So 1998 colors too. So they've seen they've debuted the original one that they had. They've had a City Connect one, and now they got a Padres 1998 belt bag. So that will be pretty cool for everybody out there. That's Monday, March 30th. On to Thursday, April 9th against the Rockies will be the Manny's Hot Corner bobblehead. So it's Manny Machado playing third base. They got the flames around the side. It's presented by McDonald's. First 40,000 in attendance. Display-worthy collectible features Machado at third base and is a keepsake for all the faithful. That's a nice little. I like the little bottom there. That's pretty cool. What is that? Is that the armband? Pink armband? Yeah, it looks nice. Again, if you want to go back, you can rewatch this on YouTube and take a look at everything in the on the deal here. Let's move on to the next one. Wednesday, April 15th versus Seattle Mariners. The puffer vest presented by State Farm. That's that vest right there on the table. That's pretty nice. The best part about this is, like, when I was a kid, like, some of the giveaways were kind of lame, but now they have made them so legit. I mean, that's a nice little vest right there. It's presented by State Farm. That will be, again, on April 15th against the Seattle Mariners, a Wednesday game at 6:40. Not a Wednesday day game. It's a Wednesday night game. First 40,000 fans get that. Against the Cubs, there's a waffle beanie presented by Motorola Razr. Waffle beanies on April 28th against the Cubs. Top off your fit with a soft waffle beanie made for night games at the ball and a ballpark photo op. This item is limited to the first 40,000 fans in attendance as well. So that's pretty cool. I like the bobblehead. The one they had last year was cool too, but the beanie, the one they had last year was cool too. First bobblehead for Mason Miller, Thursday, May 7th, at least in a Padres uniform. They got the Mason Miller bobblehead. Watch your speed. Elite pitching with a bobblehead that nods to Miller's clutch moments on the mound. He's got fire coming off of the baseball on his delivery, which is super cool. You can bring that a little bit closer to the camera if you want. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So Mason Miller bobblehead giveaway Thursday, May 7th. And All right, we got to move in baseball. Nothing official yet. It is being reported. And yes, I saw it in the chat. People were commenting. It's called a tease, guys. Can't just give your information out there immediately.
Guys, like I said, if you see it in the chat, give us time to collect our thoughts so we can properly react to what we're seeing or to what is being reported.
All right. Jeff Passenbaum. Seattle Mariners are nearing a deal to acquire outfielder Brendan Donovan from the Cardinals as part of a three-way trade that also includes Tampa Bay, sources telling ESPN. A deal that had been considered for weeks would finally land Seattle a versatile impact bat. We talked about that not too long ago about an infielder potentially for the Mariners. They need an extra infielder as part of their group and as well as a bat. We also talked about the Giants potentially being interested in Brendan Donovan, but with the Giants pivoting to Luis Arráez to play second base, Brendan Donovan wasn't an answer there anymore. Seattle swooped in and made the move. And I like this move for Seattle. I like the move for St. Louis. We knew this was going to be part of the case, part of their relative plan moving forward. And again, as I look at the Cardinals, what year do we think the Cardinals are going to be able to compete? Maybe in 3 years if they're lucky. Brendan Donovan is not part of their plans. Trade him while you can, get something in return, and there's probably a couple more Cardinals that might be on their way out before the season starts. And if Dustin May has a good year, I bet you have a good first half. I bet you he's gone at the trade deadline as St. Louis tries to get into a full rebuild, even though they have probably said we're not in a rebuild mode. They are in rebuild mode right now, and this Brendan Donovan trade proves it as they send him off to Seattle. We're still waiting to hear on more details on this. We'll try to pass along as much as we can. But overall reaction, Seattle went and did a job, got an improved infielder, got a guy that's going to help their team out, went and got an extra bat. They have already gotten a pretty good grade from Jim Bowden on from The Athletic in the offseason. They just added to it right there with Brendan Donovan.
Yeah, and this is something we discussed with the 8 teams from Friday, is that they're still looking to fill a hole that was left when Jorge Polanco signed with New York. So it makes a lot of sense for Seattle to go and make this move. And you're right, with Donovan losing the San Francisco connection with Luis Arráez, which we'll dive into a lot more tomorrow. It's a very natural fit for Donovan to go, or for Nico Horner for that matter, to have gone to Seattle to fill that void left by Jorge Polanco.
I think this is a step for you look at I keep looking at this from the St. Louis Cardinals angle. I mean, they're going to be bad.
Yeah,
they're just going to be bad. I mean, they have now
already
cut their payroll down to $104 million, but I don't think they're going to be bad for very long. But as I look at the Cardinals, here's the problem with the Cardinals now, Frank. Mm-hmm. And I want to, and I hope that not really, because I don't really like the Cardinals, but the St. Louis Cardinals are giving me Anaheim Ducks vibes of, we had this core group of guys, we had this good team, we had made multiple runs, they all got up there in age, and we finally just started to cut bait and really strip it down to the studs to try to build a young core. And it took the Anaheim Ducks a long time to go through that rebuild. But here's the other thing too. St. Louis Cardinals, Anaheim Ducks, both organizations that have been well-run organizations in their respective leagues. I saw the Ducks when they decided to go into rebuild mode. I thought, this will not take a very long time. If you're the St. Louis Cardinals, you can't let this take a very long time.
No, and this is especially from a fan base and an organization that is not used to going through this. We saw it a couple of years ago where St. Louis just had a bad year. They had a really down year, and their attendance nosedived. I mean, we're talking Sunday afternoon in August. There's nobody there. There was absolutely nobody at Busch Stadium on a prime afternoon day where you would expect many, many people to be there. So this is new territory for the Cardinals, for the fan base. The fan base is going to be they're going to do one of two things. They're either going to completely check out, or they're going to get very, very restless very, very quick. So depending on what the fan base does, I think is going to be how St. Louis goes about this.
The other thing too is I felt like the Anaheim Ducks kind of hung on a little bit too long, and I think the Cardinals kind of hung on a little bit too long, and it might have set him back a little bit.
Yeah, might have done.
Now they are. I honestly think the Cardinals are hoping to get Dustin May into a position where they can trade him away at the end of the year. They have now 2 players that are under guaranteed salaries, Dustin May and Ryan Stanek, and they both signed him this year, if I'm not mistaken. Stanek's 34.5. Like, he's going to be gone next year. Anyway, he might, if he has a good year, he'll get traded at the deadline because he's got a club option. Dustin May's got a mutual option. Ryan Stanek's making $3.5 million. Dustin May's making $12.5 million. Dustin May is the most expensive player on the St. Louis Cardinals next year at $12.5 million towards the salary, towards the luxury tax threshold. Jojo Romero got $4.26 million in arbitration. Brandon Donovan, 5.8, is on the way out. And then you look at the other players, Lars Newbar making 5.3. But if Brendan Donovan got shipped off at age 29 and only another year of control in 2027, are the days now numbered for Lars Newbar? I would have to say, yeah. And Jojo Romero, what are you doing with him? I mean, if you're going to go all in, you might as well go all in. There's no reason to have Romero or Donovan or Newbar. And now if you look at, nobody really wants Dustin May, I would believe. I mean, you're not going to trade him. You just signed him. You have to wait till the deadline. I think anybody that is not under contract through 2028 is on the block for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Yeah, anything that's not nailed down to the ship right now is going overboard.
But then you ask the question, and this is where you get into the Mason Miller conversation, like the A's. Is 2028 a year that you're going to compete if you're the St. Louis Cardinals, based on what you're seeing right now? They got good players. They got Mason Wynn, Jordan Walker, right? I mean,
it might be a little bit later, depending upon how bare bones they strip this down.
The only thing is, it's like the players that are not yet eligible for arbitration. Those are the guys I think you got to build around.
Yeah.
Mason Wynn's 24.
The Jordan
Walker's 23 and a half. Ivan Herrera's 25. Riley O'Brien's 31, but whatever. Pedro Pajes is 27.
What about Alec Burleson? How old is he?
Alec Burleson's 27.
Okay.
But here's the question I'm going to ask, so Donovan's got shipped off. He's not part of the plans. Lars Newbar opens up the door to not be part of the plans because he's 28. He's going to be 28 and a half years old this year, and he's a free agent in 2028. So that brings up the next group, and that group is Andre Palante, Alec Burleson, Nolan Gorman, Matthew Liberatore. They're all done in 2028. 2028 is their last year. All right, sorry. Matthew Liberatore is done in 2030, so he's got another year on top of that. But when I look at that, if you don't think 2028 is part of your deal and you could get something for some of these guys, you are in a position now as the St. Louis Cardinals of how much are we going to break down because we still need guys to fill out the roster, and how much more are we going to get for some of these players. But if you're the Seattle Mariners, they went out and did exactly what they needed to do. They wanted to add another bat. They wanted to add to the infield. Brandon Donovan plays infield and outfield. I like the ad for Seattle. I think it's a good fit. They get a couple of years of this kid, as he's eligible for arbitration, and he'll be a free agent in 2029. So you get him for 26 and 27. Actually, no, I made the mistake. He's a free agent in 2028. So you get him for the next 2 years in Seattle. Mm-hmm. I think it's a nice little pickup. Because the other thing, too, was you mentioned with Seattle, they have all their infielders are young, but not ready yet. I thought Nico Horner was going to be a better option for Seattle because he's a one-year guy. But when you're looking at the price and maybe you're 2 years away from your young infield prospects coming up to the major leagues, Brendan Donovan was the second best option, and definitely the best option if you wanted to keep things cheap if you're Seattle.
Yeah, and that's exactly the way they went. And going back to that conversation, let me just take a look at because Alec Burleson, my bad, is I believe is St. Louis's first baseman, if not DH, when Contreras wasn't playing there. Let me see what Burleson's numbers were last year, because that might be an interesting route that AJ Preller could look to.
The problem with that is St. Louis is looking for multiple prospects.
No, I understand
controllable
that,
guys,
yeah.
and he's going to be a valuable piece. And here's the other thing too: they're going to sell because even though the A's knew that Mason Miller wasn't part of their Vegas plans, they're still going to pull the whole. Well, you have all these years of control. I mean, that is still value for an organization. Now, if you're able to pull that off, again with the prospect capital. If you're trading for guys that still have years of arbitration left, you're basically fast forwarding your prospect group. And so you're exchanging guys that might be good in the future for a guy that you know can be competitive at the major league level. Oh, and by the way, you'd save money on the deal.
Alec Burleson in 497 at bats last year hit 290, 18 home runs, 69 RBIs, even had 5 swipes. Lefty power first baseman.
Well, the question then is like,
would you trade Ethan Salas for that?
Would you trade Ethan Salas for that? I mean, at this point, there's a lot of guys you would trade Ethan Salas for. He's fallen out of the top 100. He's near the very end of the top 100 prospects. I think it just depends on how the beginning of the season goes. Ethan Salas fits the Cardinals game plan.
It does.
Right?
He does. He does very well.
And
indeed.
guess who's isn't Yachty helping out?
Yeah.
With the Cardinals?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you're the Cardinals, I think that would be worth your while. And then you bring in
there's your first
Alex
baseman.
Burleson, you got a first baseman.
Mm-hmm. And then Gavin Sheets. Then you could have Sheets and Burleson swap off at DH if you need.
Yeah, DH and first base.
Mm-hmm.
And Alec Burleson is the only deal is though is with Alec Burleson, compared to Gavin Sheets, it's another lefty.
Yeah.
Like, I think they still want somebody to complement Gavin Sheets, and I think they want a righty. And that's where, like, a guy like Paul Goldschmidt would be a little bit more conducive, I think, to the Padres. But at the same time, like, the question then becomes, like, is Alec Burleson the first baseman of the future if you could pull a trade like that? Like, you don't have to worry about him.
Yeah, it's different conversation.
It's a different conversation. But then, then you would you could switch them off and then have whoever's not in as the DH, but you still have to bring in another bat to be your first baseman. And now you can't move, unless you put Song at second, you can't really move Jake to first to be the other platoon guy. Plus, you're not going to really get platoon Jake too much.
Yeah.
It leads to maybe you trade, maybe it's a 3-way trade and you trade Jake Cronenworth to save some money. I mean, it's a lot of different avenues that you can pursue if you're the San Diego Padres. And I'm sure AJ Preller's looking at all of them. Tomorrow we'll talk more Padres baseball. We'll also dive into some Aztec basketball that we missed today. Got a lot more to get to this week. Gwen and Chris coming up next with the Braden Surprenant Show. See you tomorrow.
2 of the NFL.